but it appears that this is working fine. So again, we're a few seconds early here, but closed circuit for Tony. We're 3 days in a row here ahead of you. So good morning. It is now 6 o'clock in the morning. It is Friday. It is November 21st, and it is not Lake Wissota where you find us today. We are both here in the Madison studio. You can't tell here because I suddenly realized I did not even out the picture here, so the whole lake is like spilling this way. But welcome to Lake Wissota in the Madison studio. It's nice to have you along, and we will have our usual round of Friday guests. Well, most of them. Anyway, Mike Clemens is out sick, and let's see, we've got Jennifer Schulze who's out, but Dr. Kristen Lyerly will be here, along with Kia Vakil from Courier Newsroom, Mark Jacob, former U.S. Attorney Jim Santelle. Believe it or not, there's legal news about the Trump administration again. And talk about. And as a former U.S. attorney, I'm going to see if he has any thoughts on the new U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Wisconsin as chosen recently by one Donald Trump. We've got a wrap up of the legislative session, the fall session anyway, all that and so much more ahead. First, a little civic media news, and then we will get things started at 6:06. We will see you in just a little bit.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. Big business news, a local company is being sold in what looks to be the biggest deal in Madison history. It's now confirmed that Exact Sciences is being bought out and the price tag is huge. Abbott Laboratories makes medications, diagnostic tests, baby formula, and medical devices. They're buying Exact Sciences for a cool $23 billion. Exact Sciences is best known for making Cologuard, the at-home colon cancer screening, but they have other diagnostic tests, including a blood test that can detect multiple types of cancers. They're expected to bring in $3 billion in revenue by the end of the year. Exact Sciences first moved to Madison in 2009, and now they have their headquarters off Whitney Way, a big lab off the Beltline just a few minutes away from that, and then another lab on Badger Road. The company employs about 3,000 people here, and executives say Exact Sciences will, quote, maintain its presence in Madison, end quote. The Greater Madison Chamber of Commerce says the deal shows Madison has the resources, research, infrastructure, and talent needed to be a big biotech hub. Meanwhile, the governor is pushing for more aid for Wisconsin. Here's Stuart J. Waddles.
The governor is pushing back against the Trump administration's decision to deny disaster relief money for public infrastructure repairs. Evers says without federal help, communities like Milwaukee and Waukesha face the tough task of covering $26 million in storm damage on their own. The state plans to appeal, seeking funds to rebuild roads, bridges, and schools, and to fund projects that reduce the risk from future storms. 6 counties had their disaster aid requests turned down.
And today marks 4 years since the deadly Waukesha parade tragedy. 6 people were killed and 60 more were hurt. Flags will fly at half staff throughout Wisconsin. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
An NFC North showdown awaits the Packers this Sunday. Filling in for Mike Clemens, I'm Jimmy Kuska with Civic Media Sports. When the Packers take on the Vikings Sunday, it'll be the first of 5 divisional matchups for Green Bay the rest of the season. Quarterback Jordan Love on the importance of these late-season games.
Definitely. I think you look at the teams in our division, everybody's in it. Everybody's kind of got similar records, and obviously, like you said, we'll be playing everybody here at the back half. So definitely some games we're going to have to go out there and win. But like you said, the NFC North is wide open, and we got to take advantage of these games, go out there and go win it. But yeah, like you said, it's an interesting schedule.
Kickoff is at noon on Sunday at Lambeau Field. Also, the Packers game against the Bears on December 7 was flexed from noon to 3:25 in the afternoon. Today is the final day of the state high school football championships with divisions 3 through 1 in action. The games are at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. You can find more information on the matchups at WIAAWI.org. I'm Jimmy Kuska for Civic Media Sports.
Your neighbors are talking. Leaders are deciding. Madison's story unfolds daily on 92.7 WMDX.
We have some really nice weather on the way as we head into the weekend today. Sunshine with a high in the mid to upper 40s this afternoon. Tonight will be mostly clear with a low dropping into the low to mid 20s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and even warmer with a high in the upper 40s to low 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Right now, it's 31.
This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Each mattress is made to order right here in Madison. Your comfort changes, so your foundation should be adjustable. Prepare for the best sleep you've ever had. For the biggest dreams, it's got to be Verlo.
Where working people come to talk. It's the Rick Smith Show, weeknights at 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network. Join me for an honest approach to the issues American working families care about. No talking points, no focus groups. Get ready for a heavy dose of democracy, fairness, grit, and no apologies. It's current affairs from a working class labor perspective. Facts are center, science is real, and everyone gets a seat at the table. The Rick Smith Show, weeknights at 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education.
Across Wisconsin on Civic Media, you're listening to Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, powered by Up North News. Now, from the Civic Media headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, here's the founding editor of Up North News, Pat Kreitlow.
Hey there, Wisconsin. Good morning. It is 6:06 on a Friday morning, November 21st. It's another beautiful morning to have you here. Not physically up north, but always in an up north frame of mind. From wherever you're spending your mornings, listening across the Civic Media Radio Network or listening or watching on all the other platforms, thanks for starting the day right here. I've got a question for you. Where's the best fish fry in your hometown? We're going to be asking that throughout the course of the day. I know most people are like, well, wait, is it Lent? That's when we always talk about fish fries, right? But no, in this case, it's just part of our Locals Love section in our Up North News daily newsletter. And, so Ellie Bordeaux, our newsletter editor in the past, has said, give us your favorite pizza joint, burger joint, ice cream shop, I think it was last week. And this week she's asking about fish fries. So are we. So we're just asking, where's a really good fish fry in your hometown? We've got a few of those ideas that have already popped in. Ellie put some in this morning's newsletter. You can sign up for it over at upnorthnewswi.com. We would love to have you tell us more about where you get yourself a good fish fry dinner. Folks watching on folks watching on social media, civic media, social media, video. Parker Olson's right here in the room with me. You can't tell, but I was about to say, people watching on Facebook or YouTube going, well, wait, you look like you're in Lake Wissota. No, that's just a photo background because folks who've listened know that here in Madison Studio A2, the wall behind me looks much like a place where people are lined up and shot. So we decided to go for something a bit more virtual today. Mr. Olson, how are you?
I'm worried you're going to get shot now.
Well,
I didn't know that was I didn't know that was on the table.
It's just this plain blank wall. My old journalism instructor, Henry Lippold, always warned us against, taking execution photos, meaning don't line up people against a wall and shoot them with the camera.
Yeah.
Actually put some scenery there. So there's a little Lake Wissota behind me, though, down here in Madison, just on my way to run some errands for the weekend here. So it's nice to be here. Nice to see Parker in person and get things rolling on a Friday here. And in fact, the routine for Friday. We're going to have Courier Newsroom's Kia Vakil in here to talk about stories of the week. We're going to have journalist Mark Jacob. We're going to have former U.S. Attorney Jim Santelle, who probably has some thoughts on the new U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Wisconsin, Brad Schimmel. And we'll talk about that. Dr. Kristen Lyerly will be here. But Mike Clemens sounded, Mike knows we love him. So when I say death warmed over, you know that we mean it lovingly.
I was going to say a little weathered, but
yeah, something like that. Yeah. So anyway, so he's off here. Let's see. We've got all the usuals, but I kind of want to just jump right into things here because Tom in Hartford's already on the text line telling us Glenda's near Lake Okeechee has a good fish fry, also homemade award-winning pies. So there you go. Ooh. We're getting fish fries and pies today.
That's a good combination.
Yeah, that all works. let's see, from Alicia. Wait, am I farther up north than you are today? Yes, Alicia, you are the one up north. Tony has Hoops Dockside in Bayfield is probably the best in the state. Whoa.
Ooh.
Strong words here.
Yeah,
okay.
talking big game.
Hoops Dockside in Bayfield. All right. And Alicia says, I love Tanner's in Kimberly for a fish fry. So that all works. And then I believe, do we have Cindy in Appleton joining us here? Cindy,
Yes,
are you on the phone this morning?
I am.
Hey, Cindy, good morning. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Great, thanks. It's nice to make it to Friday, and it's nice to be talking about dinner already at 6:10 in the morning. You want to tell me where you go for a good fish fry?
Van Apples of Hollandtown, one of the best in the state. They also have great steaks and a great chicken dinner on Sunday night.
That's in Hollandtown. What's the name of it again?
Van Apples.
All right. God, I like that. So what is it that makes it a good fish fry? Because we're going to be asking that question as well. Is it the type of fish, or what is it about it that makes it so good?
Well, to me, it's usually the breading and the deep frying of it, because sometimes they get too dried out. I like them when they're nice and still moist, and there's not a lot of breading. And, of course, tartar sauce to me is what makes the fish, and Van Apples has a good tartar sauce. So,
yeah, you got to love the ones that are the homemade stuff. Not the stuff that falls off the back of the Cisco truck, at every restaurant. So, yeah, anything that makes it homemade. Cindy, thank you very much for checking in. Have a wonderful weekend.
you too. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Good to see you. Good to hear from you, rather. 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. So now that you've had some time to think about this, is the UW Whitewater community known for a good fish fry someplace?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I'm not a big fish fry guy. So
that's right. You were saying.
Yeah.
You remember on April Fools, and somebody tried to pull off the fish fry ice cream?
I wasn't here yet.
Were you not here in April?
No.
Oh, okay. I just figured since you weren't a fish guy, maybe you'd go for fish fry ice cream. But
that sounds.
It was
worse.
disgusting. It sounds. It does. Yeah. It does.
Ugh.
Yeah. Okay. So not a fish guy. All right. Well, as it just so happens, a good friend of mine, Jim Zons, started a Facebook group years ago called Wisconsin Fish Fry Fandom. And it is just a page dedicated for people to, write in places to get a good fish fry and maybe put up some photos. And Jim lives on, I don't know if it's Lake Monoman or just the Red Cedar River. But anyway, all the time he is posting photos of the walleye that he's catching. And he knows fish fry. So we're going to have him in later this hour after today's history lesson and talk a bit about what makes a good fish fry and where he has found some of the best ones in the state. Alicia, fish fry ice cream sounds traumatic. Yes. Yeah, totally get it. Let's see. Tony, not a fish fry guy. No coffee. Water always. It's so hard to relate to Parker. Well, he is a Renaissance man that way. You got your Quick Trip,
Cheers,
your
Tony.
cup of your Brewers mug that we got from the game. Yep.
Yes.
Roger puts on Facebook, EML in Roselleville has a great fish fry. That's good to know. As far as, when Tony said that Hoops Dockside in Bayfield is probably the best, he did a follow-up message. Just ask Fred Clark. He gets it.
Oh, there
you go. So if it's endorsed by Fred Clark, I mean,
come on.
Candidate for Congress up there in the 7th Congressional District. By the way, I didn't have time to look this up yet, but speaking of the 7th District and the former member of Congress, Sean Duffy, I heard a story on the drive in here today in Madison that it started out well. There was like some new public service announcement that's all about civility in the airlines and how, once upon a time, people actually, put on a suit and tie or, dressed up to fly. Flying was like a big fancy deal. And then it, from what I could tell, it shows clips of people fighting on airplanes, people being rude on airplanes. And it's all about how, your manners don't end at the gate. And how much did I spout off yesterday about manners and etiquette and things like that? And that would be fine if it had just stopped right there. But apparently, the Secretary of Transportation, one Sean Duffy, went on to criticize people. I just can't.
Oh, boy.
Criticize people for the way they dress when they get on airplanes and how we ought to dress up again and you shouldn't be getting on a plane in your pajamas. Now, look, even if you think that, it's one thing for a schlep like me to say that on the radio. For the U.S. Transportation Secretary to say, you guys look terrible when you get on the airplane. You're just inviting every passenger to go, who the hell are you, Sean Duffy, guy that dances in his underwear on TV as a reality star, to criticize how we dress? When people get into their sweats to fly, especially when you got to get to the airport at 3:30 in the morning to get a flight out because of the TSA lines and everything else, I'm not putting the tuxedo on. I'm sorry. I'm not. And I've got some nice suits, but I'm not dressing up for you, Sean Duffy. Nobody should. We're flying. The behavior part, spot on. Love it. Can't say it enough. Fashion police? No, Sean. It's stay in your lane.
Weird hill to get on.
It really is. Yep. Tony would like to make clear he is not putting words in Fred Clark's mouth. He just believes that they would agree on fish fries. Let's see. From Walt, Maple Tree Supper Club in McFarland, 20 to 30 people lined up to enter by 3:30 for their 4 o'clock opening. Beer and lightly battered is tops along with their salad bar. I got to write all these down. This is so good.
I mean, that's not that far from here, Pat.
No,
you
it's
can
not.
hit that up on your way back.
Yeah. It reminds me of what I said the other day about the Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells, how, like an hour before it opens, there's 40, 50 people waiting in line for that. And we get none of that up north. We get next to none of that.
Really?
No. I mean, well, here's the thing. If there is a wait, you don't wait in line. You go to the bar. Now this is, I know Walt's talking about that. They haven't even opened yet. But I don't know that I've seen a place with a line up north before they even open. At some point you just come in because there's plenty of bar stools and you have your old fashioned. And I'm so tempted to play the Jason Kelsey thing again. I had 7 spotted cows and then another old fashioned, which I mean, in Chippewa County, that's Saturday night. It's just how we roll. A little prime rib, some chicken wings. There's your Jason Kelsey special.
Yeah.
And yet, despite being as large as a football player, I do not play football. It's just simply the chicken wings and the fried fish that did it. Anyway, so we love these recommendations that are coming in. And let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss any. Oh, here's Jim from Brookfield. And Jim, thank you for the nice note earlier. I will respond to that one. He says, the Red Mill in Brookfield has an excellent fish fry. The Red Mill is a traditional supper club going back to the late 50s, right in the middle of suburban Brookfield. Back in the early days, Eddie Matthews and some of the Milwaukee Braves would stop in.
Oh, cool.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Which gets to this, when he talks about it being right in the middle of the suburb of Brookfield. Again, once upon a time, Brookfield was like way out of town, when everybody lived in Milwaukee, when the suburbs hadn't begun creeping, farther and farther out that way. So it's nice to still see the few supper clubs that are left. I mean, the ones that are in cities and things, they're not around as much as they used to be. Eau Claire used to have a couple of nice ones right in town. There was Staffney's, there was Austin's White House. You know what? In a related note, while I'm mentioning those, if you want to RIP like some great supper club or restaurant that's not around anymore, and I should probably save it for a separate day, but if it was a place that had a good fish fry, you can throw that out there too. We can remember the places that had them in the past. Anyway, my point about supper clubs is this. Our new executive producer, Frank, and we'll hear from him later on with his weekly quiz here, among others, is like, what exactly defines a supper club? And the answer might surprise some people, but I always say it's the relish tray. You get this thing with pickled herring, carrot sticks, breadsticks, maybe some radishes on there. You're not getting that anyplace else. And it underscores the family style aspect of this, that you've got your old fashions and then you got your relish plate. You might get a basket of bread. And then you're going to get your cheese curds maybe that come in. So it's not a 7-course fancy restaurant, but things are going to come in waves, and then eventually the roasted chicken or the ribs or the fish fry. And, I mean, it is just an experience, and it's an experience unlike anything else, and I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. All right, we'll talk more about your favorite fish fry places, 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. You can also use the Civic Media app to text us or to call us or to leave us a voice note. We're going to talk about the week's headlines with Courier Newsroom's Kia Vakil coming up in just a sec. First, The show In Spirit comes to you from the heart of America's up north, but today we're in Madison. I'm Pat Kreitlow. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Come shop at Verlo and sleep well tonight.
A stiff chair makes you sit. An X chair lets you float. Upgrade to an X chair, engineered for better posture and focus. The secret? Patented lumbar support that adjusts instantly. SiFloat Infinite Recline that moves effortlessly with you. X chair is next level ergonomic seating that truly floats. Right now, you can save up to 50% with the X Chair holiday sale. Supplies are limited, so visit xchair.com today for up to 50% off. That's xchair.com.
Streaming TV is where it's at. It's not about cutting the cord anymore. It's all about your customized TV options. With the best and cheapest high-speed internet and your own TV subscriptions, we've got your dream TV lineup. Between wired and satellite internet and TV, save money and get more internet speed and better TV today by calling the Whole Home Connect.
800-217-9129. 800-217-9129. 800-217-9129.
Hey, honey, how was your day?
Yours?
Pretty good. Guess what? The boss asked me to find a place for the holiday party this year.
Oh, I know a place that'd be just...
Yes, right here. We think so alike.
No,
we can
wait,
put some
wait.
text.
No, not
what?
our house. Sugar River Pizza.
You
you already told them they could be here, didn't you?
Yeah,
I'm
well...
sure you thought catering from Sugar River would be just fine.
Sure.
Yeah, but you've seen that huge room in the back of the Sugar River Pizza at their Sun Prairie location.
Yes.
It's ideal for a holiday party.
Well, yes.
Fabulous pizza, that pulled pork you love, pasta, soup, sandwiches.
Yeah.
Anyone can get exactly what they want.
And it's better than your meatloaf. Well,
Wait,
let me
wait,
call them.
what did you just say? You said you like my meatloaf.
I did. No, Sugar River Pizza in Sun Prairie. That is a great idea. You're brilliant. Thanks, hon.
Nice to have you back on this Friday morning, heading into the weekend with Courier Newsroom's national political editor, Kia Vakil, who's back in his home stomping grounds in the Philadelphia area. How are you, Kia?
I am well, Pat. How about yourself?
Good. It seems to me the things that need to be reviewed when you look back at this week will, of course, be the big flip-flop by Trump and the Republicans in Congress on the Epstein files, and Donald Trump's ability to try to convince people this is not the recession you're looking for. Who's he selling this to?
Really gullible people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that anyone outside of the very wealthy can look at the economy and say it's working for them. The stock market's done well all year, but that's been driven by, 5 AI companies in a trench coat. It's not a real, most companies are not showing gains. Mm-hmm. I believe it's 80% or not, if I remember correctly. And now we're even starting to see the stock market kind of shake a little bit. But yeah, you have job hiring slowing. You have loan delinquency payments or loan payments delinquency rising. Every under the hood sign is blinking red right now and has been for quite a few months. And Trump, a lot of that, not all of it, but a lot of it has to do with Trump's tariffs, which are obviously inflationary. And the rest of it has to do with a lot of bigger problems in this country that he's done exactly zero to solve. And now we're going to send healthcare costs skyrocketing in January, which will certainly make the problem much, much worse. And, we have a president who is grifting in every possible way there is to grift, and is so cartoonishly corrupt that there aren't even words for it anymore. So, yeah, that's sort of the state of play economically.
Yeah. Well, look, we did finally get the numbers for September, and they showed a rather weak 119,000 jobs. And if I saw correctly, they're basically not even going to pretend to do an October report, which I guess makes sense when you talk about a group that promised more transparency, but they fired the last person who gave bad numbers. Mm-hmm. So maybe you just don't put out any numbers at all, it seems. If you don't want, what's the old saying in medicine? If you don't want to find a fever, don't take the temperature.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with that is there's a lot of private reports and numbers out there. And so obviously they're not as reliable as what the government puts out. But I also don't know that you could say the Trump administration, like that I fully trust the Trump administration. So on what they put out. So also we saw the Biden administration try to convince people that their daily material reality wasn't what they felt it was. And so I don't think that's really an effective way to govern this country, to pretend like there aren't problems and tell people they're crazy, which is essentially Trump's plan. You see him get really angry at reporters. You see him complain about people complaining about the economy. It's the same mistake the Biden team did, which is they did not take it seriously until it was too late. And I mean, Trump's obviously a bit of a lame duck, but it's not a great sign for Republicans that he can't admit that there are problems in the economy.
No, I mean, it took this long to admit that, the public was not going to let the Epstein files thing go. And so last weekend, he did this abrupt flip flop, and pretty much every Republican fell into line on that vote. So now he has signed the bill. So when I say, what do we look for next? It seems to me the only two options are some kind of a mass dump of information to try to just, flood the zone, as they say, or you try the next brick wall where you put out a bunch of heavily redacted stuff and you say, well, we've got that new investigation going on, and with an ongoing investigation, we can't really tell you anything. If you were going to, you think either one of those is the more likely scenario?
I tend to think they're gonna not release. Obviously, we have the sham investigation that Trump asked DOJ to launch into some of the Democratic affiliated names and the emails that were released. And I tend to think that's just a way to prevent the actual release of these files. Because, if there's an ongoing investigation, DOJ can not release some of these files. And so that's my theory, that they're either going to just slow walk it till it dies or try to. I don't think that'll be effective. The Epstein files has been a thing in our culture for 6 years now. And so it has legs. But yeah, I mean, look, I could be wrong. Maybe they'll actually release them all. But at every step of the way, Trump has acted so shady that I tend to think he's trying to somehow get ahead of this now and try a different strategy than just objecting. And, maybe shift blame to DOJ somehow.
And then last thing I want to get on is Robert Kennedy Jr.'s Department of Health and Human Services and some new language. Well, briefly, and here's the reason why. Yeah, they've changed some of the language about vaccines on the website, and tell me if I'm dreaming this, but I do believe that Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican of Louisiana, said he was only voting to confirm Robert Kennedy Jr. after he promised not to change language on the website about vaccines and autism. So my question for you, Kia, is does Senator Cassidy now call for Robert Kennedy Jr.'s removal, or does he just look like one more person who got played by somebody in a fellow Republican's administration?
I think giving him credit for getting played is going too far. I think Cassidy knew exactly what he was doing. He put on a show for the press to pretend like he still has credibility as a doctor. But you don't confirm RFK without knowing who RFK is. There was an abundance of evidence before he voted of who this man is and what he would do and what he believed. That is all borne out. It's been worse than we expected, but not by that much. We all knew who RFK was in the press. Bill Cassidy, a doctor, certainly should have known and did know. So I think that's BS. I don't think he's going to call on him to resign. I think Bill Cassidy fears a primary from his right more than a general election. And I think it's all a show.
And by the way, if you happen to notice a fruit basket in his office, chances are it was sent by Susan Collins with a note saying, I too am concerned that something's happening. So
concerned and troubled.
Concerned and troubled, though heaven forbid I do anything about it. Courier Newsroom's Kia Vakil. Thanks as always for the end of the week update. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
You bet, Pat. Thank you.
We'll be back with today's history.
So do opinions. WMDX, guiding Madison through life's most predictable surprises.
With demand patterns evolving and supply factors adjusting, the dairy sector is seeing a renewed momentum. I'll have more on that right after this.
How does a soybean become a Dairyland seed difference maker? It starts in the labs of Corteva Agriscience, where Enlist E3 technology is designed to fight the toughest weeds for the greatest yield potential. Then it's hand-selected by Dairyland seed agronomists to be the ideal fit for Midwestern soils and conditions. Finally, it's tested on acres by farmers like you to ensure it's proven to outperform. It's a long road, but the only way to make a difference. Find your soybean difference maker at dairylandseedsoybeans.com.
I'm Charity Seebecker for the Midwest Farm Report, and senior analyst Matt Tranel with EverAg explains how volatility and opportunity remain in focus for our dairy markets.
We saw that cheese exports for August, they ended up at 119 million pounds. And so that is a new all-time record. It was up 4% compared to what the July numbers came out as, and it was up 28% year over year. And when we look at like year to date, we have to remember that 2024 was a record year. And as of right now, we're 14% ahead of what the 2024 rates were.
Once again, that was Matt Tranel from EverAg along with us. I'll have a look at your morning markets right after this.
Veltima fungicide outyields the competition by an average of 7 bushels per acre. But you've never been average. The only competition that really matters is you versus you. And with the performance of Veltima fungicide from BASF, you can take your best results even further. Beat your own record. Get every bushel you deserve. And make this your best season yet with Veltima fungicide from BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
I'm Charity Seebecker for the Midwest Farm Report with a look at your morning markets. Cash corn closed yesterday at $4.26.5. That was down 3 1/4 cents. New crop corn closed at $4.37 3/4, down 3 3/4. Cash beans closed at $11.22.5, down 13 3/4. And new crop beans closed yesterday at $11.32, down 12 1/2 cents. Cash wheat closed yesterday at $5.27. That was down 9 3/4. And new crop wheat closed yesterday at $5.58.5, and that was down 8 1/2 cents. On the dairy side of things, Class 3 milk contract is trading at $16.37 a hundredweight. That is down 26 cents. And January milk is trading at $15.48, down 21 cents. Barrel cheese closed yesterday at $1.60.5. That was down 3/4. 40-pound block cheese had no change and closed at $1.56. And the AA butter closed down 1/4 at $1.47 3/4. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Charity Seebecker.
From the capital to your kitchen table, Madison's biggest stories live right here on 92.7 WMDX.
We have some really nice weather on the way as we head into the weekend today. Sunshine with a high in the mid to upper 40s this afternoon. Tonight will be mostly clear with a low dropping into the low to mid 20s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and even warmer with a high in the upper 40s to low 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it's 28.
This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Each mattress is made to order right here in Madison. Your comfort changes, so your foundation should be adjustable. Prepare for the best sleep you've ever had. For the biggest dreams, it's got to be Verlo.
This is Robert Pilot, host of Native Roots Radio. On our show, we talk about Native issues like treaties, protecting Mother Earth, and holding our elected officials accountable. You'll also hear from Turtle Island voices like Arvina Martin, State Representative Heather Keeler, Ruth Anna Buffalo, Dr. Anthony Stately, State Senator Mary Kunish, Robert Lilligren, and Bob Blake. Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Native Roots Radio, weeknights at 8 on your local Civic Media radio station.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off. You've got this.
20 seconds.
And there he is.
Pat's outdoors.
Pat's in the same room as Parker. Here we go.
10 seconds.
It's time once again for today's history lesson on Mornings with Pat Kreitlow.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
It's one small step for man.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
You know, this depression is going to be so great. We'll be the ones eating the cats and the dogs. That's going to be fun.
Once again, it is time to take another revealing peek back into history.
Just a little bit longer. Please, 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 tell me you're going to.
All right, let's get today's history lesson rolling with the number one song from this day in 1961. It was by Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs. I know you probably heard the Jackson Browne version later on, but it was the number one song this day, 64 years ago, and it was still the shortest ever number one song. This record ran 1 minute and 37 seconds. It was every disc jockey's dream who had to back time their music block to the top of the hour news. You loved those things back in the day. Hey, look, it's Friday. We are joined once again on our history lesson on Fridays, as always, by Gregoire Ilyanovich Bachtoberfest. Mr. Bach, hello. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Patrick Kreitlow. That's all I got.
Patrick Kreitlow.
It's Friday. It's the end of the week. It's fine.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, good morning. Before we get too deep in this, we're going to talk more in our next segment about Friday fish fries. It's our question of the day, but I don't want to forget, if anybody you want to give a particular shout out to when you got to have a fish fry?
Oh, my gosh. Probably two specific ones. Ron's Cozy Corner in the Milwaukee, southeastern Wisconsin area. And, of course, my baby Lakefront Brewery. They're
wonderful. Oh, of course. Okay.
It's a wonderful, wonderful fish fry. But there's lots of selections, and especially around where I live. But, yes, those stick out.
So many. And, Maurice Williams is done singing. I guess we got to move on. That's
we have to keep going.
Problem with those short records. All right, well, we'll move up to 1970. This was the number one song in the land. Everybody over a certain age is starting to sing and embarrassing their children.
Everyone who was an older brother when this came out, it's like, this song is fine. Good song. I mean,
right?
I wouldn't buy the record.
No, but clearly enough people did with the Partridge Family. It might have had something to do with Susan Day being one of the characters on there. But anyway, I Think I Love You by the Partridge Family.
It has less to do with her than more about the guy singing the song.
I don't. Well, you had fans of all genders there.
Yeah,
you also had others were looking at Mrs. Partridge, Shirley Jones, over there and going, "Hey, how you doing?" Single mom.
Okay.
Around that same time that the Partridge Family was airing, there was That Girl on TV and actress Marlo Thomas in the lead role. She's been married to Phil Donahue for a long, long time now, and she is 88 years old today. And while you're feeling old about things from the late 60s, Goldie Hawn from Laugh-In, and actress in many other movies since then. Goldie Hawn is 80 years old today.
Academy Award-winning Goldie Hawn.
Yes. Yeah, take nothing away from her. And Kate Hudson's mom, for those folks who haven't made that connection yet. And then singer Bjork is 60 years old today. I don't know anything else about Bjork except that one weird swan dress. That's all I know.
You should look up Google when you have a chance. This is perfectly family friendly too. It's nothing. Look up Bjork explains a television.
Bjork
Enjoy.
explains a television.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
this one?
And then
Tuck that one away.
It's just a little lady from Iceland talking like this about the television.
Oh, God.
All right, now I'm intrigued.
All right, then.
I do hate to do this to everybody. I apologize now, but it is Friday. It's kind of a good Friday tune, kind of, and it's on the birthday list, so I'm obligated to tell you that Carly Rae Jepsen turns 40 today.
Skin was showing, hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy.
Is Greg doing the robot?
I thought he was.
Maybe?
I thought he was going into a little 6-7 dance there or something. It's. Oh boy. Well, there's your earworm for the day, everybody. You thought you'd gotten rid of it. You cannot control alt delete this song once it gets in your head.
It's a solid track, good for dancing, great for weddings or just events.
Yeah, its only sin was being grossly overplayed at the time.
Yes, it screams 2012.
Yes. So,
look at Parker being an old man right there.
I know. Look at him. Oh, that's so 2012.
So long ago.
That's so me, middle school.
On this day in 1877, Thomas Edison announces his invention of the phonograph, a machine that can play a record and you can hear sound coming out of the machine. What kind of wonders of technology would result from that?
He says, let's hook this up to an elephant, see if it kills it.
No, that was a different story.
Wrong guy.
Different story, not the phonograph.
No, same guy, just different.
Oh,
same guy. Oh, I know.
Didn't know. Oh, God. Tommy, what are we doing?
On this day in 1980, Steely Dan released their 7th studio album. No, not Groucho for Marx. It was called Gaucho, and here's one of the singles. Gaucho also included Hey 19, Babylon Sisters, and more. Steely Dan released it 45 years ago today. On this day, 30 years ago today, Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day was busted for dropping his pants and mooning the audience at a concert in Milwaukee. He would pay a fine of $141 and didn't come back to Milwaukee for many, many years. But
I saw them in Milwaukee one year. It was an amazing show. It was an amazing show.
Oh, I don't doubt that for a minute.
Yeah.
Why does this always happen in Milwaukee? Didn't George Carlin get fined for
he got arrested at Summerfest for doing stand-up in 1974, I think it was, but I'm sure someone on the live stream will correct me. He did his 7 words you can't say on the air. He did that in public, outdoors at Summerfest, and got pulled and got dragged to jail. There's a picture of it. You can Google that next too. Bjork explains television. George Carlin arrested in Milwaukee. There you go.
So if you say the 7 dirty words while doing the big gig, you can end up in the big house. So there you go.
And Greg is going to say them now.
All right. Number one song this day in 1981 was by Olivia Newton-John. Anybody worn any leg warmers lately? Anybody? Nope. Again, a song that was maybe overplayed a little bit at the time.
Was it?
But yes.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, this song was overplayed, Parker. But she was one of the biggest acts on the planet in the early 80s.
Yes.
They gave her a movie and they were like, "Oh, this is a bad idea." George Carlin was arrested in 1972. I knew it was 72, but I doubted myself.
Okay. Dang it, Greg. Got to go with your gut, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, Physical was the number 1 song for 10 weeks, making it the biggest hit of 1981. The original Rocky movie premiered in New York City on this date in 1976. So next year will be the 50th anniversary of Rocky. That's crazy.
And guess what we're going to get?
What?
A movie about how they made the movie Rocky.
Yeah.
Of course we are.
Good prediction.
Oh, man. Let's see. Up to 1987, it was actually a remake, an oldie, by Billy Idol. That was the number 1 song. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Billy Idol's Moni Moni replaced Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now. at number 1 on the chart this week in 1987. Both of those songs were originally done by, do you remember Greg Bach? Moni Moni, and I think we're Tommy James and the Shondells. Yes. Very good.
You get a gold star.
Yeah.
I listened to the radio of the 80s. Yay!
And if you were listening in 1990, every so often a sappy love song would come on and take the top of the charts. And in 1990, 35 years ago today, the new number 1 song was by James Ingram.
I sense Greg has thoughts.
No. James Ingram only made powerful love songs. He didn't.
Yes.
He had so much emotion to give to the world.
He did. I really liked his voice. Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Tony's telling us we went through a box of my dad's old stuff at my grandma's house, and it was so many Olivia Newton-John records.
And it was all just physical. Bunch of copies of physical.
Just one song.
Very surprised you listened to anything but country. Although Olivia Newton-John did start with a little country in her.
She won.
She
Best
won
country artist.
That's right.
When she debuted in America, she was a country artist in what's called Countrypolitan, which was a more washed out version of the Nashville sound.
Yep.
Which, you guys got it a couple hours? I can talk about that.
We got 3 of them.
I just remember Nashville their hair was on fire.
Yes.
This woman from Australia is the best country singer of the year. The sacrilege.
No.
Somehow Nashville lived on. On this day in 1992, Adam Sandler sang the Thanksgiving song on Saturday Night Live for the first time. I'm sure that'll be played next week a few times. In the year 2000, 25 years ago today, the number 1 single was by Destiny's Child. We have got to get a disco ball for the studio and Racine there at Radio Park.
He is dancing a lot.
Just
today.
for Greg on Fridays. Let the man dance.
I love Destiny's Child.
Yep. This was from the Charlie's Angels movie reboot with Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz, and Drew Barrymore.
Lucy Liu, the Who?
No, not Cindy Lou Who.
Oh, Cindy Lou.
Lucy Liu.
Okay.
Just a great campy movie. I don't know that the sequels after that were that great, but I really did like the first one. I don't know, Greg. Maybe you didn't see it. He's pleading not guilty. And rightly so.
I don't know anything about which. I have no idea.
On the National Day calendar today, Parker?
It is Gingerbread Cookie Day. It seems very early.
Gingerbread Cookie Day. Are we a gingerbread cookie fan down there, Mr. Buck?
Yeah, maybe like one, but I can't overdo that stuff. It just gets to be. No, thank you. I'll enjoy one for the holidays.
One of my daughters makes kind of a gingerbread molasses. I don't know if the ginger snaps maybe they're called, but oh my goodness, they're just addicting. I hope she's making those this weekend. I'm heading out to see her from here. So if you're listening, dear, fire up the oven. What else we got for today?
It is also National Stuffing Day.
National Stuffing Day.
Oh, that's a topic.
That's isn't it?
That really is a topic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. You got a little time, Greg. Stuffing, go.
Huge fan. Don't ever put cranberries in my stuffing. Don't make it sweet. I don't want anything sweet in my stuffing. And water chestnuts. What are you doing in there? You're not. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. A good spicy sausage in there. Very nice.
Yes.
Like an andouille sausage or yes. And you can pack it. You pack it together and you make a turkey sandwich with it. That's if you're feeling real weird.
Oh.
Then there's the people that are making like leftover turkey, Thanksgiving leftover like pizzas or what is it there?
Oh God.
They're doing all kinds of weird things with the leftovers. Oh, you mix it all together, you put it in like a waffle iron and you make something out of that.
That's something you can do.
People just getting out. It's getting out of hand here.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, our question of the day here is: where's a great fish fry in your hometown? And I got an expert, Jim Zons, who does the Facebook page Fish Fry Fandom, is going to join us to talk all about that as well. And of course, we'll take your input at 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. You can use that Civic Media app to call us or text us or record a voice note or jump in the comment sections of Facebook and YouTube. I'm Pat Kreitlow. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
All right.
All right, pizzas. No, it's waffle iron. That's what I meant to say. Mr. Zons, how are you?
Greetings. Good morning.
Good to see you. Say hi to Parker up on the top right there, and Greg in the bottom right there.
Hello.
Right.
Greg is Kevin Voigt doppelganger.
Yes, he is, isn't he?
He is, definitely.
Another great friend from college.
And an old radio guy as well.
Yes, and who just became a grandpa for the first time. So, yeah. Just saw that picture last night, so that was very nice. Okay, so you got the questions. Anything I missed in there? Anything that you want to make sure we cover when we come back from break?
No, it's you're in the driver's seat, so I've got my list of some favorites and stuff that I go to, and what a good fish fry needs to have.
Yes, you're in the house. Yes, not the caboose.
I am not in the caboose. I'm in the house.
Okay.
Because the caboose is cold right now.
Yes, I figured it was that time of year. So okay, all right. And how many fish do you figure you have caught in your time living there? And by the way, are you on Red Cedar or Monoman or what? Or Tainter?
I'm on Tainter.
You're on Tainter. Okay.
On Lake Tainter.
Okay.
Yep.
And remember, the game wardens are listening. So how many fish do you
that's
figure?
right.
Yeah.
Probably 1,000 in a day. So,
yeah, catch limits be damned.
I'll give you,
Jesus only had 5, whatever.
That's exactly right. And in today's America, rules and laws are for
don't matter.
sissies,
Yeah, totally meaningless. So, all right, we got 90 seconds left in the break here. I'll tuck you back in the waiting room so you can make noise, and I'll see you in just a little bit.
Snack pantry big enough for a lifetime supply of pistachios? We've got you covered. Call Aaron Weber Group at Powered by Compass today. We'll help you find a home that's nothing but perfect.
My name's John Driscoll, proud member of the Patriotic Millionaires. When I was CEO at CareCentrix, I doubled entry-level wages. The impact? Productivity went up, turnover went down, and the company was successful. When employees are off the clock, they're real consumers, the consumers that drive the economy with their spending. By paying employees a fair wage, we're actually helping out all of us in giving our economy the best chance to succeed. I'm John Driscoll, I'm a patriotic millionaire, and I approve this message.
At Verlo Mattress, Black Friday is going on all month long. Get a free adjustable base upgrade with a mattress set purchase. Every mattress we make is factory direct and custom.
30 seconds until we're back.
.52 on this Friday morning. Parker Olson is down here in Madison. I'm in Madison too, Studio A2. Greg Bach is over at Radio Park in Racine. You can hear him for Matt and Air on Air along with Jane Matt and Air, coming up from 9 to 11 today on the Civic Media Radio Network. And we're joined in this segment by my friend Jim Zons, who has a Facebook page, he and about 1 million other people who love a good fish fry, called Wisconsin Friday Fish Fry Fandom. Again, Wisconsin Friday Fish Fry Fandom, all about the goodness that is the Wisconsin fish fry. Mr. Zons, how are you?
It's unusual being up this early in the morning, but I'll always get up early to talk about fish.
Because you are on Tainter Lake?
Yeah, Tainter Lake.
Okay.
North of Menominee.
And Jim and I go way back to college, and now he lives out there. If you're familiar with the area, he's the guy with the caboose in the front yard. He was living the dream of a lot of us. He actually did purchase an old caboose, and it's his office space in there, which we're jealous of. What, about 8 months out of the year?
Yeah, I think
Not
about,
winter so much, you know?
well, it actually can get pretty toasty in there with the proper amount of oil-filled radiator heaters.
Ah, there we go. So, and Jim loves to go fishing. He's posting all the time from his walleye catches, making us a little bit crazy, but
Well,
it's delicious.
this is the perfect time of year. This is when the walleye come in shallow at night, and there's nothing like fishing out when it's pitch black outside, and all you can hear are geese and coyotes and owls, and then you catch fish. So
That's and many of them, and it turns out you're a fish fry aficionado as well.
Yeah.
How did that? Is the page something that you helped create, or you just are one of their biggest promoters?
No, I created it because I thought it'd be a good idea, because people would always ask me, where do you go for a fish fry when you're out in Wisconsin? And so I thought I'd create it. And then I was kind of shocked that it seemed to get follower after follower. And now there's over 2,000 people that are following it. And I there's a lot of restaurants that post to it, but I really try to encourage people that share your own pictures. When you go out, people want to, don't, bash places, but be honest about what was good about what you had, and where you went, and why it was good, or what didn't quite hit the mark.
And Greg and Parker, the nice thing about this, of pages like this, that, I mean, the dumpster fire that is social media, by and large, you get these pages and people just want to put good stuff on there, Greg, that people actually want to share where to go to get a good meal.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where, like, and it's both refreshing, and then you have to sit there and go, "Oh, this is a nice page. This is nice people." I don't.
It's so boring.
I don't have to be the snarkiest one in the room. This feels so wonderful.
Well, that's just it. When somebody does put a snarky comment up on a page like that, you're like, "Dude, what are you doing? Get out of here! This isn't where that is." So, well, okay, Jim. I mean, it'd be like asking you to pick your favorite child, and I know which one is. But of all the fish fries, I mean, I don't even know how you begin. Do you tend to recommend something close to home, or is there a place that if you could, you would drive that 100 miles, more often to get it? What comes to mind when I say tell somebody the best of the best?
Well, there's a couple that are. I mean, there are some that are local, like here in my backyard. I really love Jake's Supper Club. Just does a good job. And when we were setting up for this, you kind of asked me what makes a good fish fry,
right?
And there's a lot of choices, and I'd say here in Wisconsin, it's almost always cod. You do have a lake trout, and then of course there's smelt, early in the year too. And if there's lots of bad cod out there. So
yes.
When places do a good job with cod, you really got to say, okay, you made cod really good and flavorful. Jake's Supper Club, north of Menominee, here on Tanner Lake, does a great job with their cod and their side, and it's really reasonable. And Cheers, they're kind of like a Cheers place. You walk in, even if you don't know somebody, you're going to know somebody by the end of the day or end of the evening if you sit at the bar. So that's a great one. So,
yeah.
And then if you want to get off the beaten path, one of my absolute favorites is Sportsman's Bar in Ridgeland. Has walleye. They have their own homemade cheesy potatoes that are to die for. In fact, get there early because they run out of the cheesy potatoes every time, and they do their own homemade coleslaw that is extra creamy and rich, not as vinegary, which is it's what I like, is the creamier stuff. So, and then you mentioned like a place that I would drive like an hour and a half to 2 hours to, and that's the Monarch Public House in Fountain City on the Mississippi River, because it's not just the food, it's also just the atmosphere and the proprietor. And John Harrington runs the Monarch Public House in Fountain City, and I think that's been a business since the building was built in the 1800s. So you can you get a lot of history when you go in there. He makes some of the best muddled old fashions that you'll ever have, and then he does walleye as his fish there. And John can tell you all sorts of fun stories about the river, about the history of the area. So that one is really worth the drive.
I got to ask you though, from a walleye standpoint, it is so good, but I'm so hesitant because there's, it can be rather bony, and yet I've also read it's possible to do walleye and have it not be bony, but you got to know just how to do it. You catch a lot of walleye. Is there in fact a trick to it, or small bone is just the risk you take?
No, walleye is easy. You're thinking of northern pike. Northern pike is the bony one where you have to get around the Y bone to get around it. And I love northern pike. I don't think I've ever seen it on a fish fry menu because it is so difficult to clean. But and this is where YouTube can be your friend again with like social media, because I found some great videos on how to perfectly clean a northern pike, and I've done it.
See, it can be. See, Greg, that's what we're going to do maybe next Friday is we'll just lay out a bunch of fish in our respective studios, and we'll work on this. You up for it?
Boy, can't wait to reschedule that one.
Yeah.
Our coworkers will love that. Look for Wisconsin Friday Fish Fry Fandom on Facebook. Jim Zahns, thanks so much. Good to catch up with you. Greg, thank you as well. Have a great start to the weekend. We will continue things here from Madison live on the Civic Media Radio Network right after the news. I'm Pat Kreitlow. All righty. There we go. We are good to go. Thank you, guys. Sorry, kind of flies right by there.
They certainly did.
It's okay. Well, we'll just have to do it again then real soon.
That's right.
If you don't mind getting up this early. So
I couldn't agree more with you, Pat, about dumb comments in the comments section.
Just making that point. Just the negative ones?
Yeah.
No. When you, especially on a nice page, there's some of these ones like, all the hometown ones, like, Old Town Eau Claire or whatever.
Yeah.
And people are just throwing garbage in there. I'm like, what is your problem?
I had to leave. I joined the Bayview neighborhood Facebook page because I thought I was going to be informed on things. Yeah, I was informed on how terrible people are and the things they say the things that occupy their brain, and then they're like, let that exit my mouth.
The Baldwin, Wisconsin one is just notorious for.
Yeah.
Why you come to a comments section to be a jerk is beyond me. But hey, everyone's got to live a life. But I gotta go. Everybody, have a good day.
Right. Thank you.
Bye,
see you, Greg.
Guys.
Jim, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again soon.
You bet. Right. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
That's Madison, and that's 92.7 WMDX.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. Big business news, a local company is being sold in what looks to be the biggest deal in Madison history. It's now confirmed that Exact Sciences is being bought out, and the price tag is huge. Abbott Laboratories makes medications, diagnostic tests, baby formula, and medical devices. They're buying Exact Sciences for a cool $23 billion. Exact Sciences is best known for making Cologuard, the at-home colon cancer screening, but they have other diagnostic tests, including a blood test that can detect multiple types of cancers. They're expected to bring in $3 billion in revenue by the end of the year. Exact Sciences first moved to Madison in 2009, and now they have their headquarters off Whitney Way, a big lab off the Beltline just a few minutes away from that, and then another lab on Badger Road. The company employs about 3,000 people here, and executives say Exact Sciences will, quote, maintain its presence in Madison, end quote. The Greater Madison Chamber of Commerce says the deal shows Madison has the resources, research, infrastructure,
all right, there we go. Now let's bring the guys in here. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Welcome to our sausage party. It's today's episode, Men Save the World. So we got this. All right. Jim, what should I not forget today?
So, notwithstanding the president's violation of the First Amendment and threatening to kill members of Congress and Epstein files, the outrageous conduct of the past week involving the Comey prosecution continues to be a source of outrage. It just again, I'll be more articulate than I am right now about this, but this is a constitutional disaster. The cases are going to be dismissed, undeniably, but the incompetence, the the way in which these cases were presented, the Comey revelations, her telling.
Can I ask you as well why you didn't send a text message to Pam Bondi so that you could be U.S. Attorney again?
Yeah, right, exactly. You know, just she doesn't return my phone calls. But,
okay, all right.
You know, and so, and if you want to, again, maybe it's beyond the scope of this morning. I can also tell you about our newly installed U.S. Attorney who is also violating ethical principles by talking about plea agreements involving a certain Wisconsin Circuit Court judge who might plead guilty. That is so violative of right. You know, so again, I got enough. You got
right? All right, good. Mark, we got your column on media pardons.
Right.
All right.
I'm happy to talk about the president threatening the lives of 6 Democrats in Congress too. But in the New York Times, putting that on page 16 this morning. So,
just normalizing this stuff.
Right. No, it's just all the same. It's Trump being Trump, Pat. It's okay. It's just Trump.
Yeah. You can call women piggy.
Right.
You know.
I'm happy to talk about that too. And Caroline Levitt saying that was a indication of respect. And
if I'd have had time, I would have cued that. I heard that on the drive in here.
Yeah.
And
frank and open and honest. He's being frank and open and honest, and even respectful in calling a reporter picky on Air Force One.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like she just continues to amaze me. She is just such a work of what? I don't know what.
Special place in hell.
Right? Yeah, without a doubt. So, okay. All right. All of that. And then, of course, the ongoing denial of the economy. Everything's wonderful. Everything is awesome.
Yeah. Prices are all down.
Groceries. It's a new word I found.
A new word. That
groceries.
Affordability. Groceries and affordability are both new words.
Yep.
I just found them. Shakespeare and me. The two of us. We make words.
That's right. All right. We'll get going in 40 seconds here. See you in a bit.
Live across Wisconsin from Civic Media, you're listening to Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, powered by Up North News. Now, live from Civic Media Studios in Madison, here's the founding editor of Up North News, Pat Kreitlow.
Oh, check that out. Putting Dr. Lyerly to work. She's finally getting an honest day's paycheck out of us.
I didn't know she gets paid.
She does not. And I'll remind her of that when she's here a little later on this hour. Welcome back. Nice to have you here. Normally up north, but today down in Madison, along with Parker Olson, producing this shindig down in Madison Studio A2. If you're watching on social media going, you guys don't look like you're in the same room.
No, we don't.
It's because I have a very plain wall behind me, so we've got the virtual background. So we've got the Lake Wissota look.
Mine is so well decorated.
Yours is decorated with a Civic Media banner and nothing else.
That is the only thing on the walls.
And that was
in this entire room.
Hey, baby steps. Baby steps.
Very small.
6 months later, 6 months from now, we're going to put something else up on the wall. It's going to be
a
great.
Post-it. It'll say Up North News.
So the aforementioned Dr. Lyerly will be along later this hour, along with our weekly news quiz. Frank will be along for that. And then Dr. Lyerly will talk more in our next hour about a particularly disturbing story. It's about what some Wisconsin legislative Republicans want to do to further harass women at one of the most vulnerable times of their life. I'd never heard of something called a catch kit, but these are legislators who want women who have a miscarriage to have to collect the tissue and bring it to a doctor's office in a medical waste bag because they're so concerned, they say, that, abortion-inducing drugs might get into the groundwater supply. I can't even believe they're saying that with a straight face, but we're going to talk to Dr. Lyerly about that. 1 hour from now, along with other things that have to do with politicians who just don't want to leave women alone to control their own bodies. But for now, at 7:08, we're going to turn our attention to our Week in Review panel. Well, 2/3 of it anyway. Jennifer Schulze is off this week. Got to get an early start on the holiday weekend. And so let's bring in former U.S. Attorney Jim Santelle, and let's bring in journalist Mark Jacob, a former editor at the Chicago Tribune, and who also now has Stop the Presses, which you can get at stopthepresses.news. The column this week, how the media pardon political criminals, news outlets paper over the ugly pasts of right-wing extremists. And Jim, of course, has Amicus, a law review. You can hear that Saturday mornings, 9 to 11, across the Civic Media Radio Network. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing?
Nice to have you both here. No shortage of things that we're going to get into today, not the least of which, Mark, we'll start with you and then we'll go to Jim. But as you both kind of talked about the things you've been following this week, you both followed the wonder of a sitting president essentially threatening members of Congress with execution. And again, this tendency of the media to say, that's just Trump being Trump. Although normally, Mark, that would be above the fold, big typeface. Obama threatens to kill reporters or have reporters executed. Mark, you look at the New York Times. How did they take this very serious thing that a sitting president did?
Well, they had a very little itty bitty paragraph about at the fold of page 1, referring to their story, which they put on page 16.
16.
16. And, wow. So they're, it's just mind blowing to think that the president of the United States is threatening to execute members of Congress, but that's exactly what he did yesterday.
And let's back up. Let's back up and give what was the context of it, because what he said about those members of Congress was for something that they said, and the thing that they said was perfectly reasonable, especially in an era of potential dictatorship.
Right. All right. So these are members of Congress, Democrats, a handful about, and they're all veterans of either the CIA or of the military. And they did a simple video telling two troops and to the CIA officers, intelligence officers, saying you are obligated to not follow illegal orders. Do not follow illegal orders. And this is like a longstanding principle, in all civilized countries. I mean, it really came to a focus after World War II in the Nuremberg trials, where the Nazis tried to say, well, I was just following orders. And they said, no, you can't follow illegal orders. You're responsible for what you do. So this is not something that these Democrats just invented this week. So they said that because, we're about to enter a war in Venezuela for who knows why. And, he's sending troops to American cities. So it's pretty darn irrelevant right now. And so they did this video and it infuriated the Trump people. And that's when he said it was sedition and punishable by death.
Yeah. And Jim Santelle, I mean, we're aware even in more recent history, the My Lai massacre in Vietnam, and of course, Abu Ghraib during the wars with Iraq and Afghanistan, that, there are things that our men and women in uniform are sometimes commanded to do. And this was a way from a legal standpoint to let them know that, they learned from the very beginning that there are illegal orders that they are not necessarily bound to follow.
That's absolutely right. One of the other problems, the reason we're having this discussion at all, Mark just hinted at it, is we've conflated military with domestic law enforcement. And again, going into the cities of America, arguably with the principles of war, which are very different, completely apart from law enforcement. That's problem number one. The other thing that Mark just accurately noted is this is a fundamental statement of the law. If, in fact, whether you're domestic law enforcement or you're now in the streets of America as a military, as a National Guard member, and your commanding officer tells you everything from break down that front door because we just want to go in and see what's going on without a warrant, without exigent circumstances, that's a violation of the Constitution, and you need to say no. If, in fact, your commanding officer says, as we heard in the previous administration, just shoot at those protesters in the knees. Remember this? The Secretary of Defense noting it in his memoir. That is a violation of the law, and it is the kind of thing that responsible law enforcement needs to turn down. We've got judges, Sarah Ellis right there in Chicago, establishing the same thing all the time with respect to what's going on in the streets of Chicago. A judge named Mame Frimpong who's saying the same thing in Los Angeles. You got to have reasonable suspicion to arrest. These are simply people articulating the standards of law enforcement that have been in place for 200 years. And if you violate them, you're going to be in big trouble, not only in the moment, but also potentially down the road. That's what they were saying. And it is outrageous that the president would respond to this. I can go on about the violation of the First Amendment that he made yesterday.
But there's also, Jim, I mean, the whole notion of how they're doing this, the masked police, the masked secret police aspect of it, where Mark, we've already seen, as we expected, there are copycat instances where people are the victims of crime by people who are masked and identifying themselves as police or law enforcement agents when they decidedly are not.
Right, or not identifying themselves at all because the authorities are not identifying themselves. Sarah Ellis mentioned this judge in Chicago had to order them to actually wear identification because they weren't doing it. So we have the masked secret police who are not accountable, roaming our streets, zip tying our children and tear gassing our neighborhoods. So this is the thing, Jim, that I want to point out based on what you said. We need to remember that the military and the police are here to protect us. Yes. They're here to serve the American people. They're not here to do the political bidding of Donald Trump. That is not their duty. It's not. And these members of Congress were simply reminding people of that.
Right, Jim?
Here, absolutely. And again, it is stunning that in 2025 and perhaps going into 2026, we need to have these basic civics lessons and identify how outside the box, outside of any normalcy, these kinds of comments are. They should be hanged. George Washington would do it. They should be jailed. No, Mr. President. And that gets me to the point I was about to make, which is, there is no right in America, including one right that attends the president, to speak that is unconditional. He has now incited violence. He has incited violence. And that is one of the limitations on the First Amendment. It's the reason why he was not prosecuted for inciting violence on January 6th, because he came right up to the edge, but didn't say, hang the vice president, kill the Speaker of the House. Now he has. And Americans need to understand that this is not protected language. I don't want to hear anybody saying he's got a right to say this. He does not. And if you say that out loud, that he's got this right, you are articulating not only an incorrect, but a completely discarded view of the Constitution.
And Mark, that was, go ahead. I was going to say, it simply is going to incite somebody else to take it upon themselves and be violent because they figure, well, Trump will pardon me anyway.
Right. He's identifying the targets is what he's doing. And for the crazy people. And, his Homeland Security has done the same thing in Chicago by calling out reporters by name. And one crazy person, doxed one of the reporters after Homeland Security called him out by name. But let's just for a reality check here. If I had said about Donald Trump the exact thing that he said about these members of Congress, would I expect a visit from the FBI today?
Yes,
I would. Yeah. So just put it in that context and think about it. What he did yesterday. It was so important that the New York Times put it on page 16.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking to Mark Jacob and Jim Santelle at 7:17 on this Friday, November 21st. And Jim, to continue some of this extra legal material, we've got the prosecution of former FBI Director James Comey, where, again, you had a court, a rational court, take a look at what the Trump Department of Justice is coming up with. And, I mean, I feel like they're no longer amused at the incompetence, but are ready to, in some way, shape, or form, bring the hammer down on the level of incompetence that's come up with these attempts to prosecute for partisan purposes.
Absolutely. I'll make a prediction here early in the morning on a Friday that everybody who knows what this is about is predicting, and that is these cases are going away. And I hope that the judge who's presiding over this gets rid of them on all three grounds. There's no authority for her to act Number two, this has been victim prosecution. And now we've got grand jury abuse. And just to highlight once again the speech, which is what we're talking about this morning, this United States Attorney, Lindsay Halligan, went into the grand jury, and according to the recitation of the transcript by one of the magistrate judge there said that the defendant, in this case, putative defendant coming forward under the indictment, James Comey, does not, in fact, will not have a Fifth Amendment right. Basically, we can compel him to testify, completely a wrong statement of law, and then compounds it by saying, oh, by the way, as grand jurors, you may choose to indict even if there are things that we haven't presented to you. And oh, by the way, we've got more, even better stuff, and we're going to present this to you at trial. Those are wild, not only misstatements, that is, those are wrong codifications of the law, and you are instructing a grand jury on the legal basis for them to indict. That indictment is going to be thrown out. And again, the United States Attorney, the chief federal law enforcement officer, went into the grand jury and told them things that are unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional.
Well, but they're all perfectly legal if you're in a dictatorship. And if you think that one person carries all the power, and that's certainly what they want to believe. Jim Santelle and Mark Jacob are with us. We'll continue our Week in Review discussions coming up in just a bit. I'm Pat Kreitlow. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. All righty. Let's see. All right. We'll probably go to, well, actually, Mark, I don't want to forget, so I'm going to start with your media pardon column, and then we'll go into Epstein from there, and eventually we will rotate over to Schimmel as well. We still got plenty more to go here. So, all right, we've got 2 minutes left in this break.
Schimmel will say other things. If it has to wait until we record for next week, you know what? There'll be more between now and then. So
there always will be, no doubt there.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Is ready to shine. From everyone at David J. Frank Landscape, happy Thanksgiving. Visit davidjfrank.com to start planning your 2026 landscape dreams today.
What is a commercial? It's a message delivered to the people, in this instance through your radio speakers, into your ears. Why, it's like a movie for your brain. This radio commercial is directed to the business community. If you want to reach more customers, you should be using WMDX Radio. It's that simple. Just email sales@WMDXradio.com and let our crack sales team show you how to make your business grow with the #1 medium known to humankind, the radio commercial on WMDX. Long may you wave.
You deserve a chair that works as hard as you do. X-Chair. X-Chair ergonomic seating is built to move with you. DVL technology adapts to support your lumbar. SiFloat Infinite Recline lets you lean back and relax. X-Chair gives you all-day comfort and productivity. Save up to 50% during the X-Chair holiday sale. But hurry, inventory is limited. Visit xchair.com and save up to 50% today. That's xchair.com.
This portion of John and Gordy in the Morning is brought to you by Madison Hearing Aid Center. If you're having trouble with your hearing, do something about it. Talk with the good folks at Madison Hearing Aid.
30 seconds until we're back.
Happy Friday. Nice to have you here. I'm Pat Kreitlow from Up North News. You can follow us at upnorthnewswi.com. Click subscribe up at the banner at the top of the homepage, and you can get our newsletters. The weekday newsletter that Ellie Bordeaux puts together includes a Friday section called Locals Love. Locals love their local burger joint or pizza place. And this week, we're asking about fish fries, and we've had a lot of answers so far, and we'll cover more of them a little bit later on. But where's a good place to get a fish fry in your hometown? You can send us a text message at 855-75-CIVIC. You can use the Civic Media app, record a voice note. You can put something in the comment sections of YouTube or Facebook where you can watch the live video feed of this show. And, of course, to see these questions and responses, head over to our website. Same goes for our question of the week that I do in our Sunday morning newsletters. And this past Sunday morning, I asked if you have a close friend who's your political opposite. If not, why? And if so, how do you make it work? And again, a lot of great heartfelt responses to that as well. So to be part of those newsletters and the questions that we ask of you, to get your input in, head to upnorthnewswi.com. Let's continue our week in review with Jim Santelle and Mark Jacob. Jennifer Schulze's off this weekend, getting a head start on the holidays here. And guys, let's turn now, Mark, before, I don't want to forget your column here because, as always, it's got a very intriguing title, How the Media Pardon Political Criminals, pardon in quotation marks. News outlets paper over the ugly pasts of right-wing extremists. I feel like the conversation we just had, bearing a serious story about having members of Congress executed on page 16, feeds nicely into asking you what this article is, what this essay is all about.
Well, yeah, I've been tracking this a long time, and it seems like when Trump and his lackeys commit crimes, the New York Times kind of gets bored about reminding people of that, and they stop reminding people of that. Steve Bannon is a real good example. You know, not just the New York Times, of course. NBC called Steve Bannon in a recent story a populist who played a key role in Trump's political rise. ABC called him a MAGA podcaster. And NPR called him a sometime presidential advisor. In none of those stories did they point out that he's an ex-con. Did they point out that he had done time for refusing to answer Congress's questions, that he had been convicted in state court of defrauding people in that border wall scam that he pulled? He's a criminal. And they don't say that. Instead, they sometimes they act like he's some sort of like a wise policy advisor for the president. And this is their form, the media's form of pardon. They do the same thing, you know, with Roger Stone, who was convicted of lying to Congress. You know, they will quote Roger Stone in stories and not point out that he was convicted of lying to Congress, which is certainly relevant when you're quoting Roger Stone in your story. And not to mention the president of the United States, you know, the convicted felon. When I'm not saying that every time they mention Trump, they need to say convicted felon, but how about when he's accusing other people of crimes and calling for them to be jailed? Shouldn't that have been used yesterday, for example, when he called on the members of Congress to either be executed or jailed? So this kind of, it's a pardon process in the media is the way I put it.
Yeah. I mean, there's times I thought, well, wait, am I mentioning too often that the president is a convicted criminal? And yet, Jim Santelle, I mean, that is what the record shows. And his legal troubles are only going to reset, shall we say, on January 20th, 2029, assuming we have a free and fair election and he's no longer president.
Absolutely. And just to underscore the point, those 34 counts, they are felony counts in New York. They still attached to him. He was basically given a sentence of no time, no incarceration, no penalty, but he is a convicted felon. Need to affirm that on a regular basis. He has appealed that. Obviously, he always appeals everything that does not go his way. He's also in the civil arena, remember, he's a sex offender too. He raped a woman in the mid-1990s in a Bergdorf Goodman store. And again, that too has been adjudicated by two juries, not in a criminal setting, but in a defamation setting, another violation of the First Amendment. You do not have the right to say anything about anybody that is wrong, that you know is wrong, and you publish it to the world. This president doesn't get it on any level. And the criminality, again, Peter Navarro is another one. Inside the White House, again, a trade advisor, spent time in jail on the same thing that sent Steve Bannon to jail. Criminal conduct adjudicated by the courts, and they're incarcerated. These are the people that the president surrounds himself with. He partakes of the same thing.
So, Mark, that takes us, of course, to the the case of Jeffrey Epstein, the sexual predator, and a bill that was passed since you and I visited last, there was that pretty incredible Trump flip-flop saying, well, let's go ahead and hold the vote on it. And he signed the bill. And again, I feel like even that was understated. I mean, it was in the news, of course, but I mean, that was pretty much an earthquake that public pressure had forced Donald Trump to flip. It simply raises the question, well, is he going to try other ways to block it now that he's had to sign that bill?
Yeah, I think they will. I think that, I mean, I'd be amazed if we see much of the Epstein files that they have. They're just not trustworthy on any score. And Mike Johnson was recessing the House of Representatives in order to avoid voting on Epstein, and would not swear in a member of elected person who was supposed to be in Congress. So they are tooth and nail trying to prevent the release of this. And now Trump realized he was going to get this great erosion in his own party, and he's increasingly disrespected. I say those things that think they're lockstep for him, but you're starting to see, big problems with him for the economy and everything else. And in Epstein, everyone thinks that's a terrible thing. The polls are overwhelming that this is awful, and we need to know who was responsible.
Yeah.
And so he's following the pack. He's not leading the pack.
No, not in this instance. And you wonder if it's going to be the preview of coming attractions. Mark Jacob is here along with Jim Santelle, our Week in Review panel, which we will continue in just a bit. Again, I'm Pat Kreitlow from Up North News. Follow us at upnorthnewswi.com. Matt and Air on Air coming up next at 9 o'clock here on the Civic Media Radio Network. All righty.
Is Matt at 9 or 8?
Matt and Air is at 9. We go 6 to 9.
Oh, yeah, but you said he was coming up. Oh, I see. I get it.
Yeah, coming up at 9 o'clock.
I thought you were talking about guests.
Yep.
Okay.
I know.
Hey, Pat, if you wanted to follow up on the far end after the break, all of this is a charade. The president and the attorney general can release these documents at any time.
Yep.
And this notion that somehow I had to sign a bill to make this happen. No.
Oh,
he
yeah.
just released Amelia Earhart's, right? So
they also had to invent an investigation so they can say that if there's an open investigation.
Right.
Yes,
what
exactly.
What is that about, Madam Attorney General, right? Who is left to investigate? We know there are victims out there. Is there yet a third defendant? And if so, then you do need to tell us more about that. But there isn't. One of them is sitting in prison for 20 years. The other one is dead.
And she said 4 months ago, she said there wasn't such a thing.
Right.
I mean, come on.
I know. Well, again, they flood the zone and try to think everybody's too dumb to pay attention.
That's the point.
All right. We'll be back in 4 minutes.
But we're not too dumb. We've got their number, right?
Exactly. That's why we gather here. That's right.
A strong future for dairy. We're checking in with DFW board member Allie Strashinsky, who represents Eau Claire and Chippewa counties. Allie, I understand DFW's efforts are built around something called MILK, Marketing, International, Local, and Keys to the Future. Tell me, how has DFW's marketing stood out this year?
Our marketing results have been truly incredible. We've had over 2.2 million website visitors. We've had 5.7 million video views and 820,000 social interactions. This is all thanks to our checkoff investment, and WisconsinCheese.com now ranks #1 on Google for the word cheese, which I think is just incredible.
Allie Strashinsky with the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin Board. You can find the stats at wisconsindairy.org/annual report.
I'm Charity Seebecker for the Midwest Farm Report with a look at your agribusiness news. The Wisconsin Farm Bureau Federation Promotion and Education Committee will host its Cultivate and Connect conference on February 21st at the Best Western Bridgewood Resort in Neenah. The event is designed as a one-day training and networking experience for Farm Bureau members and agricultural leaders. It'll offer some simple tools that support local outreach and help strengthen agriculture across the state. Registration is $80 and includes training, refreshments, and lunch. You can find more details about the conference and register at WFBF.com. Also coming up is the 2026 O-Grain Organic Grain Conference, which will be held January 23rd to the 24th at the Monona Terrace in Madison. Attendees can choose from over 15 sessions on a wide variety of topics, including organic weed management, soil testing, funding opportunities, and more. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Charity Seebecker.
Your neighbors are talking. Leaders are deciding. Madison's story unfolds daily on 92.7 WMDX.
We have some really nice weather on the way as we head into the weekend today. Sunshine with a high in the mid to upper 40s this afternoon. Tonight will be mostly clear with a low dropping into the low to mid 20s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and even warmer with a high in the upper 40s to low 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Temperature now 29.
This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Each mattress is made to order right here in Madison. Your comfort changes, so your foundation should be adjustable. Prepare for the best sleep you've ever had. For the biggest dreams, it's got to be Verlo.
Where working people come to talk. It's The Rick Smith Show, weeknights at 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network. Join me for an honest approach to the issues American working families care about. No talking points, no focus groups. Get ready for a heavy dose of democracy, fairness, grit, and no apologies. It's current affairs from a working class labor perspective. Facts are center, science is real, and everyone gets a seat at the table. The Rick Smith Show, weeknights at 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Let's talk rechargeable battery safety with tips from the National Fire Protection Association.
30 seconds until we're back.
Nice to have you all back here on this Friday morning, November 21st. I'm Pat Kreitlow down here in Madison, Studio A2, along with Parker Olson, who's producing things here. We will get back to our weekend review panel in just a sec. First, a reminder, plenty of sports coming up across the Civic Media Radio Network. There's Badger men's hockey tonight. They are at top-ranked Michigan State. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock on stations in Wisconsin Rapids and Ironwood, Michigan. The Badger men's basketball team is playing this afternoon at BYU in Salt Lake City. Coverage begins at 2:30 on several Civic Media stations. Let's see. Then on Saturday, of course, you've got the Badger football team. Coverage begins at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon on several Civic Media stations. And, of course, you got the Packers and the Vikings playing this Sunday at noon. The pregame coverage will begin at 10 on some of the Civic Media stations. You can find more at the website. And Parker Olson is a busy fellow, so busy that you can hear him on the radio tomorrow, I believe, with that first-rate show that you call Make the Call.
Make the Call.
I remembered it.
Good job.
This is
Look at
fantastic.
You'll
All
get
right.
a gold star, too.
Yeah. What time is that at?
It is 7 o'clock. Well, you almost got me there.
Pop quiz on your own show. Don't be late. So you can listen to Parker and some of your other Civic Media friends discussing sports then as well. All right, let's bring back in our weekend review panel. Jennifer Schulze's off this week, but we've got Mark Jacob and we've got Jim Santelle back with us now. And just a final note on the Epstein files, and then we've got plenty of other things to cover as well. But Jim, we're going to start with you just to again emphasize, I know we've said it several times, this whole thing about Congress needing to vote on a bill to force the release of these files from the Department of Justice. None of this is necessary. Donald Trump can release this stuff with the wave of his hand, can't he?
He absolutely can. The Attorney General could do it from the day she was sworn into office. And again, it is a charade to establish that there is some constitutional, statutory requirement that before the Department of Justice releases files within its domain, there are policies about doing that. Completely wrong. This is what this president also does. It purports to talk about the law. Remember all the tax returns from the first term? The IRS prevents me from releasing those. No, that is a misstatement of the law. They are your tax returns. You can produce them at any time, and we've never gotten them. That is the continuing pattern of this president to establish something that does not exist, say that, well, I can't do this until others command me to do so. and then you do it. It's misleading. It is so cynical, once again, about his belief about the American people believing this when in fact it's not true.
And Mark, I'm painting with a broad brush here, but I do feel like personally that still doesn't get mentioned enough in media, in news stories. It's always about the X's and O's, the horse race of will Congress vote this way or that way, and leaving out the overarching thing of none of this is really necessary if Trump and or Pam Bondi wanted to do the right thing.
No, and I think that the problem is that the national and political media know that. And so it's in the back of their head and they think everyone else knows it too. And they don't. That's why we're back to us saying that you need to remind people that Trump is a convicted felon sometimes. And you need to remind people that Trump could just release the Epstein files in total if he wanted to. And there've been reports that he's had as many as 1,000 FBI agents scouring them to try to see how many references to Trump are in there. So they've got them prepped, or they should have them prepped if they wanted to release them. They don't want to release them. They don't want to release any information about Donald Trump's relationship with his longtime friend, the sex trafficker, Jeffrey Epstein.
And my concern, of course, is that if we do see a big release, we're going to notice a lot of things missing or redacted, a la the Mueller report. So they're taking their time to try to whitewash what's in there as best they can.
Right. Well, they may do what Bill Barr did with the Mueller report, which
exactly.
is not release it, but describe it in a dishonest fashion, and then release it a week or two later.
Or here's the other alternative of this administration. We see it all the time in the courts, including this past week. We simply say no. And we say, you know what? Yeah, I signed the legislation, but it turns out once again that there are reasons why I can't do it. In the end, I'm not going to do it. And who is to enforce that? The answer is no one in this time when we do not have checks and balances.
Yep, that's Jim Santelle, former U.S. Attorney, which means I am duly obligated to ask you about the new U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Wisconsin, one Brad Schimmel. I don't know the extent to which you know each other or know of each other, but I do know that when President Trump appointed Brad Schimmel, it did not happen through normal channels, and Senator Tammy Baldwin had a lot of things to say about blowing up what had been a bipartisan process.
Absolutely. Once again, this is another interim appointment. It lasts for 120 days. So again, we've got our own Eastern Virginia here, although we haven't violated that yet. There is a requirement of the Constitution that at some point the president nominate and the Senate confirm a presidentially appointed United States attorney. I know Brad Schimmel very well. He was the district attorney in Waukesha County when I was the U.S. attorney in Eastern Wisconsin. Even before then, we were lawyers and law enforcement very much together. We plainly have different views, frankly, about how law enforcement should work and the focuses and processes and purposes of that. This is a prosecutor at one point coined challenge coins that basically talked about kicking, I'll say, an A word, right? You're on morning radio. That is not the role of law enforcement. And that scares me an awful lot when we think about the qualities of a U.S. attorney who should be all about justice and ensuring that safety and security is paramount. We are not here to throw people in jail, kick their behinds, and do things in a way that are contrary to the fundamental purpose of the United States Department of Justice in America.
But that's the thing we do is, that they do is, again, try to create, heroes and villains, and there are no shades of gray. And to that end, Mark, I'm switching gears here to talk about Wisconsin politics. I don't know if you knew, speaking of heroes and villains, that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Zoran Mamdani are running for Congress in northern Wisconsin because there is a new PAC that is running a $250,000 ad campaign on behalf of Sean Duffy's son-in-law, who wants to run for Congress up here in northern Wisconsin. And the ad, as described in reporting, features AOC and Mamdani because, again, it's tough to run a campaign on ideas. It's a lot easier to turn people into villains. I'm sure you see that around the Chicago area, too.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things. If you don't want to talk about anything that's actually happening in your area that you could actually do something about and care about, and that people care about, scare tactics, some, people with names that aren't Anglo-Saxon, whatever, anything you need to bring in, what was the biggest campaign ad of the last election? It was about transgender rights, and and it was a total scare ad, and with Trump saying that outrageously that children were being taken to school and coming back to the different sex, which I mean, he actually said that. This is again,
people believed it.
Right, and that was the biggest scare ad. So scare ads, tend to work, I think, with some people at least, and so I'm not surprised to hear that that Mom Donnie is not really going to pay attention to New York City. He's coming to Wisconsin to scare everyone there.
Yeah, and part of the recent history again in Wisconsin, when the present U.S. Attorney ran for Supreme Court, what did he run on? That I'm going to be your Donald Trump in the Supreme Court. He talked about enforcing Southwest border issues. He talked about, I'm not making that up, I've still got the door hanger on this, all sorts of things. We all know Supreme Court justices have nothing to do with and embraced Donald Trump and said, yes, you put me on the Supreme Court to decide major issues in this nation, and Donald Trump will be right there with me. Again, whether it's the dog whistle, whether it's the invocation of things, relying upon people not to know better, that also is the cynicism, frankly, of the present U.S. Attorney who is in eastern Wisconsin now.
Well, I mean, when you have a Supreme Court that, gives a wink and a nod and endorsement to racial profiling, once again, you know that we've got tactics that work for a certain subset of the population. Mark, on another political note here, I think we've talked a lot this week about the Epstein files, but I think another theme from this week has been the economy. And the shorthand that I would put on it is Donald Trump's comment about us being in a new golden age, and that everything is so much better, even though, they inherited all this bad stuff from Biden. It's a very up is down, down is up thing. And again, I think he says golden age when gilded age might be the better description. And I'm wondering if you think, much like in the Epstein files, if you feel like people are looking at their pay stubs and they're looking at their grocery bills and they're saying, I don't know that this Trump guy talking about the golden age is really being on the up and up.
Yeah. Oh, you used the word grocery because Trump just said that grocery is a new word that was invented by Democrats.
Just learned it.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess it means something like stuff you get at the supermarket. But they this is like the Epstein files in a way, in that Trump can't lie this away. I mean, it's people know that that children were abused and raped by Trump's friend, and they're not going to unlearn that. And in the same way, they go to the grocery store every day. They see what the prices are. They remember what the prices were last year. They know that, coffee, for example, I'm a coffee fiend, and boy, coffee has just been skyrocketing. A lot of it because of stupid tariffs that Trump is doing to try to help his fellow fascists down in Brazil. And so people know that they're not fooled about stuff that's right in front of their face that they see every day. And so him lying, and he's just day after day, he's just lying and saying, well, prices are down. Boy, prices really are down. We've got all the prices down. And he thinks if he says it enough time, everyone will believe it. But instead, they're buying their food and they're realizing that it's not true. And so it's not working for them.
Right. I mean, there's a difference between if you say something enough times and you don't have exposure to it, like transgender athletes. If you say that enough times, you're convinced that this is a big problem. But you can't do that with something that's tangible in front of people like their grocery bill. Same tactic, but it's not going to work nearly as well. Jim, you've got the weekend show Amicus coming up Saturdays at 11. We've barely scratched the surface of things that you might be covering this weekend.
All right, absolutely. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Supreme Court. And GET continues to be in business, of course. And, in that category of dog whistles, again, recognize that the Supreme Court participates in this again as well. They've got a case on their docket called Hecoxon, and it involves transgender sports, just as they did last term. They, too, are highlighting this issue in a way that suggests that there is something to be a dangerous thing here, something to be concerned about. And that's the highest court in the land. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the three ways in which the Comey and the Letitia James cases are going to be dismissed. And the question is just, hopefully, all three of them, but which one of them gets there first?
Okay. Jim Santelle again. You can watch Amicus, listen to Amicus across the Civic Media Radio Network Saturdays at 9. It is replayed on Sundays. Mark, I got a minute left, and so I just want to ask a Chicago perspective on fish fries, because we were talking about that earlier. Where's a good fish fry in your hometown? Is that something you see readily in the Chicago area, or is more like, you've got the good steak restaurants and some of them put on a good fish dinner?
Boy, I love seafood, but Chicago is not a good place for seafood. I will have to admit that it's pretty terrible, compared to you go to the coasts or, places where actually fish and shellfish are caught. And then it tastes a lot different than it tastes, far away, like here in Chicago.
It's not in the Chicago River, Mark? You don't just go fishing?
No,
believe it or not.
Just fishing there, no?
Don't
not
do
a
that.
lot of
Don't
perch,
do that.
not a lot of cod
You
there
might
that you'd
grow
eat.
a third ear.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. Mark, Jacob, Jim Santelle. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you a little bit later on. All right, take care. And we'll have them on our Black Friday show next week as well, so tune in for that. Dr. Kristen Lyerly on the way. I'm Pat Kreitlow. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. All right, so we will see you Tuesday for some taping, Jim.
Absolutely. Very good. Have a good weekend. We will see you then, Pat. Take care.
All right, see ya.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Parker.
Thanks, Jim.
Hey, it's that new announcer lady.
Hey, it's adorable that Mark called a fish fry seafood.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I liked that. It's just the border is just like a little line on a map, but it's just so big in so many other ways.
It means a lot.
It means a lot.
It does mean a lot. I was on a meeting last night. We're trying to pick a new community management software for one of the organizations that I belong to. And one of the companies that was pitching us was from Milwaukee. And I knew immediately, as soon as he opened his mouth, it was Milwaukee and like all of the accent things that I think we really pick up on. And it became kind of like an adorable, and these were with people from all over the country. And it became this kind of like adorable little Green Bay Packer shout out.
Nice.
It was cute because it was, regional.
Frank's got a quiz ready for us, right?
Hey, Frank.
Hey, Dr. Lyerly, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. See, Pat, I told you we don't do the fish fry down here.
No, you do not. Nope.
But we do have like high scale seafood restaurants, so I'm not sure where Mark was coming from.
I see. That's what I thought he was going to say is like, there's these steak restaurants that do lobster,
Like
whatever.
seafood.
But,
I think every steakhouse has like a seafood tower that's like $200. So,
oh man, okay.
Which I haven't gotten yet, but one day.
Yeah, it's
going
not the
for
same.
it.
You can't even get a good fish fry
Maybe when you
really
retire.
in Madison now that the Avenue Bar is gone.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take?
No, that's
No.
a pretty good take.
Fair?
Yeah.
Like a Northeast Wisconsin kind of fish fry. You can get fried fish, but it's not like perch. It's like cod.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Sure.
Yeah, because Avenue closed, and then the other one closed just west of the Capitol. What the heck was that called? Another old fashioned supper club, and it's gone now.
You can get the old. You can go to the old fashioned, but which is I love the old fashioned, but they do pretzel breaded.
Oh. On fish.
Everybody's got to have something a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I like it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not Northeastern Wisconsin fish fry.
No.
No.
I want to go to Mad Crab, or no, it's not Mad Crab anymore. It's Seafood Boiler.
Yes.
Good crab. Very good crab.
To me, crab, it's delicious, but it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's part of the experience.
That's like walleye when they can't get the bones out of it.
Too bony. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
He said it wasn't walleye. It was a different fish.
All right. I know. 20 seconds.
Gotta be perch.
Schmelt. This is Cinnamon Girl by Neil Young, if I remember right.
Good ear.
All right.
It is.
Yeah.
Are we casting any aspersions on Dr. Lyerly, who joins us now? That she's
Maybe she likes cinnamon. I don't know.
Maybe she's, yeah. Are you?
I did the cinnamon challenge once.
No, you didn't.
No.
No.
A little bit. I did it with my son. He did it like all the way though. Like minutes,
Don't.
like 3 minutes of him trying to chew on that cinnamon.
You ever notice that the word challenge now is attached to things that you,
Make
you
everyone
should
go,
not
"Oh, God,
do?
no."
Yeah. Yep. No. Nobody to take the eat healthy challenge. You know? Nobody has the walk 10,000 steps in a day challenge. It's
No,
like,
they do. They
no.
do. People just don't. It's not fun. It's not spicy.
Yeah, it's not life-threatening like some of the other things that TikTok calls challenges. Dr. Lyerly has not been on the program here for more than 2 minutes, and a fight has already broken out about whether the best fish fry is well, in your view, it's what?
Perch.
Perch. Okay.
Yeah, gotta be perch.
You know, out in your part of the state, there are people that swear by smelt. You know, got to be that, or they just like an old-fashioned cod. Some people still serve haddock out there. I don't know why. But
no.
you're a perch girl.
Green Bay in the Valley, we're perch people. I think you're going to find your schmelt a little closer to like Michigan. It's very regional. Like it is very, you got to know where you are.
Yeah. Yep. Tony making a plug for a Northwest Wisconsin fish fry.
Oh, do tell.
Yep. Well, there's good places there. Tony says, you guys try that broccoli challenge?
No.
I'm in if you're in, Tony.
Yep. And I do like when I, again, having married into a family from Eastern Wisconsin, where when I say smelt, they just kind of look at you like, no, smelt. It's kind of like if you say Fond du Lac, and they go, no, Fond du Lac. You know, you gotta have the lingo that's very specific to that area.
I
Much
was
like Frank does.
definitely in middle school before I knew Milwaukee had an L in it because it was Milwaukee.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
How about you, Frank? How do you say Milwaukee?
Frank
is frozen.
Oh no, Frank is frozen up.
We broke him. There he is.
Am I here? We good?
You're there now. Yeah.
I use Milwaukee with an L.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's how we know you're not from here.
Well, that's how we know people are from Chippewa. Is if you know, there's only the one little P and they're not two P's, like Chippewa. You're from Chippewa Falls. So anyway, we're eating up valuable time when Frank could be giving us his usual Friday quiz, where he has scoured the headlines and is ready to tell us or quiz us on our knowledge of the week. Frank.
Yes, it's time for our week in review quiz. We do have a running score. So last week,
we're
Parker
running
and
the
Dr.
score now.
Lyerly are tied at 2 points. Pat
Wow.
trailing behind them with only 1 point. Let's see how many we can get through today. Chadwick Boseman just received his SAR Hollywood Walk of Fame. He famously portrayed which Marvel Avenger?
Black Panther.
Remember,
Gotta say
your name is your
first.
buzzer.
Kristen.
It is Kristen. Go ahead.
Black Panther.
Yep, it is
nice.
Black Panther. I also would have accepted T'Challa. So,
Would you have accepted Peter Parker?
no.
No.
Oh.
Or
No,
Parker
that's
Olson. No.
Parker, who is that?
I'm the original.
Yes. He's a mix of Peter Parker and Jimmy Olsen, all wrapped into one.
Oh.
Parker, do you get those references?
Nope.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
Lord.
You don't know who Peter
Oh,
Parker
boy.
is?
I thought
Okay, I know who
superheroes
Peter
would have
Parker
been your
is.
realm.
The Spider-Man.
Jimmy Olsen?
Okay.
Jimmy Olsen?
Superman?
I'm not related to him. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, God.
come
Okay,
on.
we're moving on.
Let's carry on.
I'm not a
Move
Marvel.
on.
I'm
The
done
Star
with
Wars I
Parker's
got.
shenanigans. All right. Question number 2. The CMAs were last night. What does CMA stand for?
Parker.
Kristen.
No,
Ooh.
Parker, it was you.
Country
I
Music.
will give it to Parker. Go ahead.
No, he was wrong.
What was it?
Country Music Awards.
No, it stands for the Country Music Association.
Parker.
I am going to give it to Parker. Last night was the Country Music Awards, so it is.
And
That
it was
are
2
awarded
nights ago.
by the...
And it was 2 nights ago.
Yeah. Okay,
See,
Frank's at -1 now for administration of that
That's
question.
fine.
Moving on.
I saw everything from the red carpet last night, and so that's where that came from. Moving on. 2-time Academy Award-winning actor Kevin Spacey claiming he's homeless now and living in a hotel due to the financial stress caused from his previous sexual assault allegations. Name one of the movies Kevin's Oscar for. It's
Kristen.
a tough one. Kristen, go ahead.
The Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects
look at
is
you.
correct.
Okay.
Oh.
Kristen in the lead, 4 points to Parker's 3. Pat still has 1. The other answer we would have accepted is American Beauty.
See, and I got Tony on my side. He puts on YouTube. It's the CMA Awards, so the Country Music Awards. Yeah, see? Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that.
CMA.
You know, to us folks who don't listen to country music, it's all the same.
Okay.
So I award Parker's a point.
Ooh,
That's no
What if I tell you I listen to a little
truth.
country music?
Take it away.
All right. Question number 4. Everybody, I'm really sad to report that Kim Kardashian has failed the bar exam. Despite all that money, she couldn't do it. Her father, Robert Kardashian, was an attorney that defended which disgraced football player?
O.J. Simpson.
Pat. That is correct.
I know my football players turned murderers. Sadly, too many of them, but yes. Okay.
I know that audio is from Johnny Cochran, but I had to play it. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Pat, look at you getting on the board today. I'm proud of you. Kristen right now with 4 points. Pat now 2. It's our week in review quiz.
Okay. Last
Moving
question.
on to question number 5. Country singer Keith Urban caught some heat for performing Chappell Roan's hit song Pink Pony Club at an event in Mar-a-Lago. Keith Urban is currently going through a divorce
Kristen.
from which actress? Kristen.
Nicole Kidman.
Pink
Pony Club.
I was all set to buzz in on Mar-a-Lago.
With the big winner club.
Oh, God.
Very nice. All right. Well, Frank,
Just
what's
weird.
the final scores here? Where are we at?
Kristen is now leading with 5 points. Parker has 3, and Pat just got 1 more today, so he's sitting at 2 points. We'll continue this again.
Go. Tortoise in the hair, boys and girls.
At some point.
That's what it is. All right. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
As
Thank
always,
you, Frank.
Kristen's going to be back. We're going to talk about a few things in the news as we roll into our final hour on a Friday morning, November 21st. I'm here in Madison today, along with Parker Olson, here on the Civic Media Radio Network. Back after the news. We're going to have to, where's Frank? Frank's still there. Okay. We're going to need to have a clearinghouse here on these questions for Frank. Frank's going to have to run these through somebody first, you know.
Who, you?
Well, I mean,
Like
I would
the
accept
Country
that.
Music
But,
Awards.
read the
I
question
stand by
again.
my statement.
Read the question again.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Let me pull it back up.
We haven't had one of these go uncontested, you know.
I know that.
I think every week.
That's because we're very confident people.
You see, here's the issue. You guys think you hold
We know
power in
everything.
this situation when I'm the game master. And what I say goes.
Yeah.
I got to lay down the law.
I think we all just lost, though, because now we're all thinking about the game. Isn't that how that works?
Oh, God.
What's that?
Oh.
I have no idea.
Man, what a pull. That's a deep reference. I feel like I'm back in middle school.
Is that a reference to something, or is that just a thing that happens for some reason to middle schoolers?
I think it fits into the 6-7 category. Like,
Yeah,
it's
okay,
things
that's
that
what
people just say.
All right.
When you think about the game, you've lost the game as soon as you think about it.
So we're saying you lost, Parker.
See the head shaking?
Pat's
We all
lost,
right now?
as
so
he should
lost
be.
as I should
He
be.
should be lost.
All right. That's it. I'm putting this back up here. There we go.
I need more coffee. I'll be right back.
Enjoy some
All right.
news.
Abbott Laboratories makes medications, diagnostic tests, baby formula, and medical devices. They're buying Exact Sciences for a cool $23 billion. Exact Sciences is best known for making Cologuard, the at-home colon cancer screening, but they have other diagnostic tests, including a blood test that can detect multiple types of cancers. They're expected to bring in $3 billion in revenue by the end of the year. Exact Sciences first moved to Madison in 2009, and now they have their headquarters off Whitney Way, a big lab off the Beltline just a few minutes away from that, and then another lab on Badger Road. The company employs about 3,000 people here, and executives say Exact Sciences will, quote, maintain its presence in Madison, end quote. The Greater Madison Chamber of Commerce says the deal shows Madison has the resources, research, infrastructure, and talent needed to be a big biotech hub. Meanwhile, the governor is pushing for more aid for Wisconsin. Here's Stuart J. Waddles.
The governor is pushing back against the Trump administration's decision to deny disaster relief money for public infrastructure repairs. Evers says without federal help, communities like Milwaukee and Waukesha face the tough task of covering $26 million in storm damage on their own. The state plans to appeal, seeking funds to rebuild roads, bridges, and schools, and to fund projects that reduce the risk from future storms. 6 counties had their disaster aid requests turned down.
And today marks 4 years since the deadly Waukesha parade tragedy. 6 people were killed and 60 more were hurt. Flags will fly at half-staff throughout Wisconsin. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
The border battle is on this Sunday. Filling in for Mike Clemens, I'm Jimmy Kuska with Civic Media Sports. The Packers and Vikings meet Sunday at Lambeau Field. It's the first time the Packers have played a divisional foe since Week 1, and Green Bay will play 5 of its final 7 games against NFC North opponents. Kickoff is at noon on Sunday. The Bucs lost in overtime to the 76ers last night, 123-114. Coach Doc Rivers said that they have to play better even without Giannis.
When the ball stuck, we didn't score. When the play broke down and we moved it and kept moving it, we got whatever we wanted all night. And I couldn't, you implore them. We worked on that for 2 days because you anticipate things breaking down, not having Giannis.
Milwaukee plays red-hot Detroit tomorrow night at 7 p.m. College sports, Wisconsin football gets Illinois tomorrow night with a 6 p.m. kickoff. Meanwhile, men's hoops is at BYU this evening to take on the 9th-ranked Cougars. I'm Jimmy Kuska for Civic Media Sports.
Local news, real voices, and conversations that count. That's Madison. And that's 92.7 WMDX.
We have some really nice weather on the way as we head into the weekend today. Sunshine with a high in the mid to upper 40s this afternoon. Tonight will be mostly clear with a low dropping into the low to mid 20s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and even warmer with a high in the upper 40s to low 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Temperature now 30.
This is Robert Pilot, host of Native Roots Radio. On our show, we talk about Native issues like treaties, protecting Mother Earth, and holding our elected officials accountable. You'll also hear from Turtle Island voices like Arvina Martin, State Representative Heather Keeler, Ruth Anna Buffalo, Dr. Anthony Stately, State Senator Mary Kunish, Robert Lilligren, and Bob Blake. Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Native Roots Radio, weeknights at 8 on your local Civic Media radio station.
Join me, Tom Hartman, each and every weekday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the Tom Hartman program right here on Civic Media. I talk about the issues that all Wisconsinites can get behind, from unrigging our economy so it works for all of us, not just the billionaire class, to improving our representative government, to delivering on the promise of we the people. Tune in middays right here on your local Civic
We'll
Media.
be back in 30 seconds.
Live across Wisconsin from Civic Media, you're listening to Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, powered by Up North News. Now, live from Civic Media Studios in Madison, here's the founding editor of Up North News, Pat Kreitlow.
We couldn't have got more spirit if she'd have been here live to give us that.
Yeah.
But instead, Dr. Lively's out getting coffee right now, but she'll be back at some point here at. There she is now.
Here, let's
Hello.
do it again. Do it again.
Pat Kreitlow. I had fun with that one.
There you go.
Yes, that's what I said. Have fun with it, and she did. So anyway, as she said, yes, we're down in Madison today, getting an early start on the weekend here. It'll be especially early for me. I know some of you have like 8 hours to go before this is all said and done, but it's the final hour for us for the work week here. Kristen joining us. We're going to talk a little news, and then later, Mike Clemens will not be in as usual on Fridays. I don't know if you heard him the other day, Kristen. As a doctor, do you sometimes hear people and you hear their voice and you just want to go, "Oh, go back to bed. Here's a cough drop,
Yes. We
Yeah.
don't take time for ourselves, though. We're busy and we have things that we need to get done, and we're not good about taking time for ourselves when we really ought to.
Yes. And I'm glad Mike's getting a little bit of rest because, this is the time of year, you're burning the candle at three ends with all the sports that are going on here. And so we'll go over all the sports that's coming up this weekend in just a little bit. But Kristen, first we're gonna take care of something in the news. It's not fun to talk about. It's not easy to talk about, but it has to be talked about because I thought I'd seen some pretty low behavior by right-wing politicians previously. This may be a new level. I previously thought the lowest of the low was trying to pass laws that mandated that women seeking abortion care get invasive, what are called transvaginal ultrasounds. I mean, where you are being violated if it's something that you did not seek out to have done. It's even worse than that now. I'd never heard the phrase catch kits before, but you've got a legislator in your part of the state who wants catch kits to be part of the vocabulary of any woman even contemplating becoming pregnant. Do you mind explaining what this legislator is proposing?
This legislator actually happens to be my state senator. So I'm heavily invested in this as a Wisconsinite, as a Northeastern Wisconsinite, as a mom, as a woman, as an OBGYN doctor. Senator Andre Jacques has proposed legislation to ensure that we have clean water here in Wisconsin. That's what it looks like on the outside. But in reality, this is an anti-abortion bill that would require the DNR to test for medication abortion medicine, and would also require women who have used this medicine, who are suffering from miscarriages, suffering with bleeding, let's just say bleeding, to catch the remnants of what is falling out of them and return it to their doctor's office. And if that sounds terrible to you, it's disgusting and horrible.
You're literally catching the remnants of a miscarriage, putting it in a bag to be treated as medical waste, and having to bring it back to the doctor's office as if you haven't been through enough trauma already, because this politician says we're worried about medication abortion drugs getting into the groundwater. Now, I'm married to an OBGYN who had the perfect response after that. Are we no longer allowing these women to pee?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, Pat, because this is all part of a much bigger agenda. And we saw this from the Heritage Foundation. There is a plan to ban birth control. And because women who take birth control pills pee, then they are claiming that is causing endocrine disruption in our water supply, and therefore we need to stop it. I want to remind you, though, that this is the same group of people who are not actually interested in ensuring that things like PFAS and proven contaminants, things that we know are harming people, they are not interested in testing for, funding, or holding polluters accountable for polluting our water.
It is just incredible that anything about this proposal can be said with a straight face. And to say, oh, it's all about clean water. It's all about, we're just making sure of that, when of course the motivation is intimidation. And these are people that live to intimidate and bully women of childbearing age, it seems.
And remember that people who are experiencing pregnancy problems, regardless of whether this is a desired pregnancy, not a desired pregnancy, where you're at in the pregnancy, this is emotional. This is hard and it's scary. So to take advantage of people when they are vulnerable like this, to add yet another layer of fear and uncertainty, to make them feel like they have to go through a bunch of certain total unnecessary steps or they're going to get in trouble, and to provide that layer of that chilling effect that makes people uncomfortable is so very wrong. Why can't we just make sure people can get health care? Why can't we just ensure that we've got enough doctors and nurses and that we're keeping our rural hospitals open? Then let's start working on things like, let's already be working on things like clean water. But this is a bill that just takes all of those things and mashes it together and doesn't fund any of this, by the way. It's a parody of a bill.
And by the way, this comes on the same week that the legislature has wrapped up its work for the calendar year. And it included one more effort by Democrats to bring forward a bill that would expand Medicaid coverage to postpartum women instead of 60 days postpartum to 12 months after the birth of a child. This thing has about 3/4 of the assembly, including about 30 Republicans as co-sponsor. And yet Speaker Robin Vos pulled a stunt in the assembly this week that prevented it from being allowed to come up for a vote. Did you see the clip where Representative Robin Vining was trying to make a point on this and they just cut off her microphone?
Did I ever? And if you know anything about Representative Vining, who's from the Wauwatosa area, she is somebody who is good and accountable and is doing all of this for the right reason. And she's a rule follower. And when they shut off her mic, she had 2 minutes to speak. That's what the rules say. When they shut off her mic, which was completely inappropriate, she kept talking because she knew she had to, because what she was talking about was life-saving healthcare. Remember, Wisconsin is one of 2 states that takes healthcare away from new moms at 60 days postpartum. The only other state is Arkansas, and they're working on it. So we are out there on an island abandoning new moms, abandoning young families, because Robin Vos just didn't want to bring it to the floor. Most Republicans, most Democrats in the Assembly, in the Senate, they believe in this bill. Most Wisconsinites want this to happen. They tried to throw a Hail Mary the other day. Robin Vining stood up for the people of Wisconsin, and you know who didn't? Even those Republicans who put their names on the bill. They just sat on their hands and watched.
And the thing is, it now opens up a new opportunity for voter dialogue. It was one thing to say, well, Speaker Vos is holding this up and people, in Green Bay or Chippewa Falls or wherever thinking, well, he's not going to listen to me because he's not my state representative. But now there are literally dozens of Republican representatives whose names are on the bill and who didn't lift a finger this week to get that bill through. So whether it's, Senator Jesse James in the Chippewa Valley or Patrick Weston or Patrick Teston in the Wausau area and all the others, if you are a Republican co-sponsor of this bill, nobody has a direct comment to Speaker Vos anymore. It's now on you that you didn't care enough about the women in your life and their state of health to do anything to stand up to a bill that one guy is holding up.
And if these people are out there campaigning that they signed on to this bill, and I guarantee you they will be, we have to hold them accountable for failing to see it through to the end. This is that level of hypocrisy because they're thinking that we're not paying attention. And, for the most part, we're not, because this is a complicated system. Pat, you are a senator. There are all of these rules and procedures, and this could happen and that could happen, and stick it in this committee. We can't keep up with that. But in this situation, it is crystal clear. Those Republican legislators put their names on a bill and then abandoned Wisconsin women when we needed them the most.
And by the way, speaking of rules, yes, as a former legislator, you saw from the people in the assembly on the Democratic side saying, well, we will respect the rule that he invoked to pull a little trick to move the bill from one committee to another so it couldn't be brought up for a vote. But the thing is, they're also the ones who the rules say you've got 2 minutes to speak. Oh, but if we don't like what you're saying, we'll cut your mic off. And I mean, they've done that again and again and again in the Assembly and the Senate instead of being respectful of somebody with an opposing viewpoint. So don't tell me all about law and order. Don't tell me about following the rules when you behave just like, the wannabe dictator, that leads your party. You're telling on yourself when you pull honestly, crap like that, cutting off the microphones of fellow lawmakers on the floor.
They make the rules and they selectively enforce the rules to their advantage.
Yeah.
And it's not for the good of the Wisconsin public.
No, and they seem to enjoy it. And what happened in 2024 was a few less Republican legislators got to enjoy it because they were bounced with new maps. And now you've got new maps in 2026 for a lot of these Senate districts, where you're going to see some very competitive races. And so a vote like this, or the lack of a vote like this is going to be an issue in more districts than Robin Vos's.
But Pat, this is boring. and nobody wants to pay attention, and it's ugly because you don't want to side. It's so partisan. It's so ugly. How do we pull people in and help them see what's really happening? Because I think what's been happening in Wisconsin is we are nice and we don't like conflict. So we just say, I'm in the middle. We don't want to commit. But this is different. This is accountability. And because of our fear to hold them accountable and to commit to this, we are letting them run all over us.
Yeah.
We've got to step up and take a stand here.
Well, and when people really start to care is when it affects them directly or, somebody that they know directly. And the trick is to really get people to open up the blinders of compassion and think more of how this could impact somebody like a daughter, a wife, a sister, as the case may be. And, act on their behalf rather than just throwing up your hands and walking away. And if there's no other message you take away from a program like this, it is to engage with these things that, politics can often sound ugly or divisive or distant. Don't make it distant. This is about you. What's the old saying? If you don't have a seat at the table, you're on the menu. So
Yeah.
put yourself in somebody else's shoes on these issues.
Well, yeah, and get to know your candidates. So many of us don't know who our state senator or assembly rep are. I do, and I'm going to be showing up over the next few months, and I'm going to be asking a lot of questions about their votes and what that means and how that serves me and the people that I care about. And I challenge other Wisconsinites to do the same thing. Get to know the people who represent you and know what they stand for.
Yep. 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Kristen will stick around. We'll talk more after 8:30 about some of the topics in the news, but also about things like our question of the day. Where do you go for a good fish fry?
Ooh.
Rob from Tigerton says, good morning. It's clear and 28. Many rural communities like Tigerton are busy with the deer hunters getting ready for the gun deer hunting season. That's coming up. We want everybody to be careful out there.
Yes.
He said last night, homemade pizza at my sister Lori's house and went to Shawano for a meeting. We appreciate you writing in. As always, Rob, you can always get in the comment sections of YouTube and Facebook as well, or use that Civic Media app. I'm Pat Kreitlow from Up North News, and this is the Civic Media Radio Network. So I have to find my buttons when I'm not using my regular computer here. I'm like, where am I?
Oh, yeah. It's got to feel discombobulating.
It is.
Where's Dan Schaefer?
Where's Dan Schaefer, right? I don't know the context of this one from Alicia. Really, Kristen? Rude. See, because again, I
think when she's late turning on her camera.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I was sitting here like, hey, where am I? Oh, the red buttons.
Oh, man. Let's see. By the way, I'm sure some people are wondering, you know who you are, like, why is my comment disappearing? You can make all the critical comments you want. It's when you get to personal insults, like, I don't need to keep that on here, so bye. Tony, who is Kristen talking to this weekend? Did I miss that? No, Tony, thank you. Thank you for the nudge.
Tony, you're the best. It's a good one this weekend, too.
Rob saying we need Kristen in Madison. I agree. I'm right here. We need her right
there's
here.
There's a mic.
There's a microphone here.
But guys, it's Friday, and that means
know.
fish fry.
Yes, absolutely.
And apparently there aren't any good ones here.
I'm sure there is. I mean, yeah, the avenue's closed, but,
It's not the same. I mean, there's good fish
No,
in
yeah.
Madison. It's just not a Northeast Wisconsin fish fry.
Yeah.
There was that place, too, on the Beltline over by the Home Depot. It was a
What was
supper club
that?
that was, do you know what I'm talking about? It was there for the longest time, and it was like super old school. The whole city kind of grew up around it, and there it sat.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see these places going away here. So.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Abe about whether we're going to make some time tomorrow?
Yeah, tell me when you're free.
I don't know. I know I'll be in the house.
Babysitting.
I'll be in the house with some Rugrats, and I don't know what we have planned. So
20 seconds.
I didn't know if Abe had a particular window that he needed to use. So we'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk. All right. Let's get that. Let's get that. There we go. Here we go. Good job. 8:22 on a Friday morning. Parker Olson producing things in Madison Studio A2. Kristen Lyerly joining us from up in Northeast Wisconsin as well. Tony in the comment sections from YouTube up in Ashland saying, who's Kristen talking to this weekend? Did I miss that?
Well,
no, Tony. No,
I'm
Tony,
so
you
glad.
didn't. Just Doofus here did not remember to plug the show of a friend and colleague. So tell us, Kristen, about the Dr. Kristen Lyerly show this Saturday at noon.
I'm so glad you asked. This Saturday,
Me too.
We've got Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez. So I'm interviewing all of the gubernatorial candidates here in Wisconsin. And this weekend, Sarah Rodriguez lays it out, tells us what she cares about, gives us a little bit of background about her. You know, Sarah and I go way back. We both turned in our assembly papers at the same time in 2020 when we both went from being healthcare providers to running for office. So it's a great conversation. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And if you are interested in what's happening with the Wisconsin governor's race, you're not going to want to miss it.
No, absolutely. And it's, I believe it's replayed on Sundays, if I'm not mistaken. But you could just get it as a podcast.
You can get it, as a podcast or on my YouTube page, Dr. Kristen Lyerly.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Rob from Tigerton again says the Packer-Viking game Sunday, they call it the Highway 29 Bowl because from Green Bay to the Twin Cities, you travel 200 miles on Highway 29 till you get to I-94 near Elk Mound. And I remember there used to be this bar not far from there, just east of Elk Mound, that was painted half purple and gold and half green and gold.
Oh.
And
that sounds like an eyesore.
It wasn't trying to be an Architectural Digest magazine, Parker. No.
Okay.
But it was, I mean, that was marketing. That was very smart marketing. And then it had to be torn down when they expanded Highway 29 to 4 lanes. I wish they could have moved it, or I can't believe somebody else hasn't rebuilt that, because in that Elk Mound, Chippewa Valley area, I mean, you've got enough Vikings fans that you could really make a name for yourself, not as the Viking bar, but as a place where people from both sides can come together. A little bit of détente, if you will.
Yes, but just think about the additional services that you'd have to supply, like, counselors and a lot of extra Kleenex for the sad Vikings fans. I don't think it's sustainable.
Okay.
Wow.
Rob goes on to tell us the bars in the Tigerton area have excellent fish fries. The best one is Straight Home in Elderon in Eastern Marathon County. So there we go. And you've got a couple of favorite fish fry places up by you in the Green Bay to Pierre Metroplex.
You almost can't decide because there are so many good ones. I do love the Redwood Inn, though. That's maybe my favorite.
I think I've mentioned Sandbar before here, just off Small Lake, Wausoda, and they've got a Cajun dusted fish fry.
Ooh.
That is just so good. Although, again, Cajun dusted is not necessarily for everybody. Sherry and I got to Madison late last evening. We went to have a beverage at the hotel lounge, and the guy running the bar, great at mixology. I mean, he handcrafts all these drinks, but he was trying to sell Sherry on. She just wanted a plain old White Russian, but was trying to say, well, this one's got like a bit of an infused, peanut butter and something else, and then a little bit of cayenne pepper. And she was like, no, I'm out. Nope, can't do it. I tried it. And let me tell you something, a White Russian with some of these other little ingredients, including a little cayenne pepper, that's a nice little addition, a nice little kick. Everybody likes a little kick. Same with the Cajun dusted fish fry. Just a little kick. It's so easy to put too much of something on. Cilantro, another great example as well. Just don't overdo it, folks. A little bit of something is perfect.
You know, I have a son who is your spitting image, but not your actual child. And I call him little Pat Kreitlow. And he has a holster that he walks around with chili powder in, and he puts chili powder in nearly everything. And I'm exaggerating. He doesn't have a holster, but anytime I'm cooking,
I wouldn't have been surprised.
He does.
I really like that idea. He just whips it out.
Yep.
right,
That man is committed to his chili powder.
Oh. But everybody has their own little favorite touch that makes something special. And that's why we were asking about the fish fries, is asking people, what is it? It's not just that you have a favorite fish fry. I mean, you can have that, but we kind of want to know what makes it the way that it is. I know that at a place where we used to go, they had just the best deep fried fish. And just because you stick something in a deep fryer doesn't mean it's going to be good, though 9 times out of 10 it does. But it was just the way that they deep fried their fish that just made it so irresistible.
Can we talk about the things that go with the fish? Like, I really love a good salad bar. I can't just eat a big brown plate of fried things. I like to have the salad bar to go with it.
Yes. Oh, it's an absolute must. And especially if you're doing it, supper club style, like High Shore's house up here between the big and small lakes on Lake Wissota. I mean, they've got just an incredible salad bar. And some salad bars, they're still putting out the pickled herring. It's not as popular as it used to be, but that's when you know you're in a genuine place, is if they're putting the pickled herring out. Is that for you? Are you putting that on your plate?
No. I don't think so.
Okay. But you like that. And then for the side, just French fries, or are you looking for something in particular?
French fries. And I'm a mayo girl, so like I'll put mayo and then ketchup next to it. And sometimes I'll like double dip, and it's a whole strategy.
Well, there.
Every bite I take, I'm like, what am I going to dip it in?
There just might be a little bit of little PK in me here, because I too, I start with mayo and ketchup, but then I kick it up a little bit with something like Cholulu hot sauce or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, for the French fries, and look for some because the tartar sauce is a little too much like pickles necessarily, and I'm not a big pickle fan. But boy, if you can take mayo as a base and then kick it up a little bit for your fish or your fries or whatever,
and then offset it with a little sip of your old fashioned, that is perfection right there.
Oh, yes, it is. All right. Well, we've made ourselves hungry, but we still got another 30 minutes here before we can go find a place with a 9 a.m. fish fry. Good luck with that. But anyway, as we mentioned before, Mike Clemens is a little under the weather, so we'll give him a pass on this week. Let him get started on the weekend here. We'll talk to him in a couple of weeks after Thanksgiving. But we will talk about sports when we come back on the other side of things here. All ahead of Matt and Air on Air from 9 to 11. Jane Matt and Greg Bach. They'll be joining you soon here on the Civic Media Radio Network. This Rob says, I have to have tartar sauce with my French fries. The doctor told me tartar sauce is better than ketchup with all the sugar in it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
yeah. Tony says, in general, if I'm offered a drink infused with something, it's a red flag. Oh, Tony.
Yeah.
No, nobody's giving you a roofie.
What is the name of the supper club just south of Stevens Point that is, it's so good and it's so retro. There's another one in Racine. These are both in the supper club book.
I have not looked at my supper club book in forever, and I was telling Frank about that we've got to get Ron, is it Fayola?
Yes.
We've got to get him back on. It's been way too long.
Oh, the Out of Town Club on Highway 41. That's another really good one. Love that place.
Parker, would you be able to pull up who the winners were in 4 football games yesterday?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Your high school football championships. WIAAWI.org.
Abe is suggesting noon tomorrow.
I can try to pull that off. I would say earlier might be a little better if possible, only because I sense there might be a trip to Chuck E. Cheese involving some grandkids.
Ah.
And I don't want to keep them waiting.
You a big Chuck E. Cheese guy?
Oh, Teddy and Chuck E. Cheese, man. Oh,
yeah.
It's just fun to watch. We surprised him one time. We're just like, we're going somewhere, and we pulled into the parking lot. It's Chuck E. Cheese!
Oh, what is Chuck E. Cheese even like anymore?
I think better than it was. It no longer. They do a better job of not making it smell like club mildew.
Nice.
Yeah, things are a lot brighter. cleaner.
Did that turn around when they arrested the one Chuck E. Cheese
Probably.
guy and the mascot? Yeah.
Probably. Chuck E. Cheese used to be just the saddest place when our girls were little. It's
bet.
It's the only place you could take the kids and get a beer at the same time. Shag carpeting that hadn't been cleaned in forever.
The creepy animatronics.
Oh, they were so creepy. Yes. Yep. Oh, I know.
Speaking of mascots, have you seen
Yes. What?
Bucky?
Have I seen Bucky? No.
Oh, there's a new, I guess it's a documentary coming out on PBS, on Wisconsin Public Television.
I think I heard of this.
On December 2nd.
Here we are typing like crazy.
I mean, it's, a couple weeks away, but.
Premieres December 2nd. Oh, Charlie Berens is narrating it.
Of course he is. Okay.
It looks adorable.
Huh. Look at that.
How dare they not link to a trailer?
You just have to Google it. It's there.
Wait a minute. Is there any chance it was the Sky Club?
Yes.
Rob,
Thank
you're a
you,
genius.
Rob.
Oh, Roger too. Sky
Yes,
Club in Clover.
It's
Look
the
at
Sky Club in
Look
Clover.
at these listeners.
Yes. Oh, so good. We went there and we bought a cone, like an orange, like a road cone, but it's little. And you put it on your table so that when other enthusiasts see it, they know that you are a safe place to talk about how awesome supper clubs are.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, it's so fun. And then they also, you pay $5 for the cone, but then they give you a free drink with it. It's worth it.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I'm surprised that's not on display behind you someplace.
It is. You just can't see it.
Okay.
It's in the supper club shrine room.
The Supper Club Shrine. I love it.
This does look like a great documentary.
Yep. All right. 30 seconds.
I did find the trailer.
Nice to have you back up north, even if up north is Madison. And in my case today, it's 8:35 on this Friday morning, November 21st. Parker Olson is right here with me in Madison Studio A2. Dr. Kristen Lyerly joining us. Normally, Mike Clemens would as well, but he's under the weather, and so we're going to give him a pass, and we'll talk to him in a couple of weeks here because he's got a lot of sports to cover in the coming days here. And so we'll muddle through on our own on sports if you guys don't mind. Then we're going to talk about sports mascots coming up in just a bit. But before we do any of that, best listeners ever. Kristen was asking about a particular supper club, could not remember where it was, somewhere south of Stevens Point. Roger right on the spot saying Sky Club in Plover.
Yes.
Which Rob right away over on YouTube was like Sky Club Supper Club. It was truly an excellent place.
Mhm.
So there you go.
It is like, that is like the standard supper club experience.
We can outsource anything. We've got the smartest listeners on Wisconsin radio. Thank you very much for that. All right, well, let's see what we got for sports here. Yesterday, the high school football championships in divisions 4, 5, 6, and 7. Any chance, Parker, you happen to know who our new state champions are?
I do not know, but I have it in front of me, so now I can learn.
We're
learning
We'll take
together.
that as a yes. Okay,
Yeah.
tell us more.
Kenosha St. Joseph Catholic won 35-19 against is that Cochrane?
Cochrane.
Cochrane.
I was just asking who are the new champions, so you can just rattle off.
Good.
Who are 4 new champions?
Darlington in Division 6, Mayville in Division 5, and Winnacone in Division 4.
Winnicott.
Winnicott.
Holy. Oh, God. Would I fail the Wisconsin pronunciation?
Yes, let's do that with Parker. Let's give him names.
No, we have to do it with Frank too. We got to get the Chicago kid in here and make it a full-on Wisconsin place quiz. Now, do you have today's games in front of you?
I do, yes. Division 3 will be Grafton and Reedsburg. They are starting off in an hour and a half or so here at 10 o'clock. Notre Dame and West De Pere will be at 1 o'clock in Division 2. And then in Division 1, the 4 o'clock kickoff, Arrowhead versus Bayport.
It's Bayport. So, no, I'm just kidding. Now,
Okay. Okay. Bayport.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Go
yeah,
Bayport. Woo, woo.
Yes. I do not have the Milwaukee Bucks score in front of me from last night. They played at home against the 76ers. So Parker's,
they lost.
Bucks lost. Okay.
In overtime.
In OT.
Okay. All right.
123-114.
They next play Saturday night. They will be hosting the Detroit Pistons. Let's see. We've got the Badger men's basketball team. They are playing this afternoon against BYU. Coverage begins at 2:30 on several civic media stations. Again, that's Badger men's basketball. Badger women's basketball on Sunday will host Detroit Mercy. Let's come over to hockey now. The top-ranked Wisconsin Badger women's hockey team.
Go girls.
They won against St. Thomas last night. They will play again tonight. The Badger men's hockey team, they will be playing tonight at top-ranked Michigan State. Coverage will begin at 7 o'clock on a couple of civic media radio stations. Badger women's volleyball, 10th ranked in the nation. They will host Iowa on Sunday. Of course, you've got Badger football. They will be taking on Illinois. Coverage begins at 4:30 tomorrow on several civic media stations. And several civic media stations will have the Packers-Vikings game as well. Sunday morning, noon kickoff, 10 a.m. is when the pregame begins. Head over to civicmedia.us to learn more. You're not part of, Packer Vikings games, they're fine. They're fun. But where I was going with this was, the Badgers Gophers game, and that's next week, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go tailgate for the Vikings game, though. That's always fun.
Oh, yeah. Of course you are. Yeah. But then you're heading out to Minnesota, where you were Goldie Gopher for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody do a documentary about you?
No, I did at one point try to get my friends to do maybe like a little series of children's books, and they just weren't into it. Not their jam.
Aw, that would have been fun.
I know. That's why when I saw this new documentary about Bucky Badger that's coming out, I was like, this is fun. These are my people. These are my fun people.
My people.
Yes.
My people, said the mascot. Yes, Wisconsin Public Television is premiering Bucky, a documentary on December 2nd. Charlie Behrens will narrate the story of Wisconsin's mascot. Let's see. It says here, while Bucky Badger specifically serves as a representative of UW-Madison, his appeal stretches to every corner of the state. Bucky is a whimsical and heartwarming story for everyone, from in and out-of-state alumni to fans of Wisconsin sports teams and those who are curious about how the Badger State got its most famous representative.
Aww.
I still think the Kristen Lyerly documentary, as her years as Goldie, would probably do better.
That'd be very fun.
When I was little, I knew about Bucky, but I didn't know anything about the University of Wisconsin. I didn't know about the Big Ten. I didn't know about the rivalries, but I knew Bucky. I mean, up until the point that I went to college, I knew Bucky. And I think that that's a common experience here in the state. That's what Bucky is, a symbol that is Wisconsin. So I'm really excited, even as having been the competitor's mascot, which I love. And I love those people too, but it's different. It's like having two kids and you love them both, but you can't love them the same because they are individuals. I love Bucky in a whole different way.
There you go. Well, again, game respects game.
Right.
Fellow mascots got to look out for one another. So yeah, that should be fun. And it's kind of old school in its own way, because they work so hard now in marketing departments to come up with new mascots and make them fierce or flashy or whatever. And don't get me wrong, Bucky and Goldie and all the others, they have evolved over time. Go look at those mascot costumes from the 1920s and 30s.
Creepy, paper mache.
That gave children lots of nightmares. So things have definitely evolved, but again, it's just a critter. It's not trying to make it something that's not, like you're ready to go to war about something or another. It's Bucky.
It's Bucky.
It's just our own little symbol here. It's our own Mickey Mouse.
Can you help me decode a dream that I had last night? Because
well, we're switching gears here. Here we go. Yeah.
Because when you mentioned that the Badger men are playing #1 ranked hockey, Michigan State,
right.
I suddenly remembered that I had a dream that Sparty pulled up in a car and started to get out, and we wouldn't let him get out. And I think that's foreshadowing. What do you think? We wouldn't let him get out of his car. He had to drive away. We wouldn't let him out. Sorry, Sparty. He's not here.
Where were you?
I don't know.
Were you dressed as Goldie Gopher?
No, I was just a human watching Sparty. Sparty's big, too. It's hard for him to get out. And we were like, maybe this isn't the right place for you. Bye.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Does Jason Momoa know you're dreaming about Sparty instead? I mean...
No.
Okay.
He'd get jealous.
Yeah. I'm going to assume that since you were bringing it up, it clearly must be about the Badger men getting set to pull a huge upset win, a pair of wins over Michigan State, which would be great for me from a personal standpoint, having a family member working for the Western Michigan, your national champion, Western Michigan Broncos hockey team out of Kalamazoo.
That's
so
right.
if we can take the other, it's funny. I think Michigan State, Western Michigan, and I want to say Central Michigan are like 4 of the top 8 hockey schools in the rankings. Suddenly it's Michigan that's the state of hockey, the thing that Minnesota likes to claim.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That hurts kind of to the core, doesn't it, Pat?
It really, it does. And whereas in Wisconsin, I always find it funny. It's not that we're not a hockey state, but if you look at the state tournaments, what does everybody want to watch? State basketball. They love and football. I meant in the wintertime that people, they can go to their high school gym and they can catch a football game after they do their fish fry. And not so much hockey, but high school hockey and college hockey on either side of us in Minnesota and Michigan. That's some big time rivalries that are going on there.
Oh my
But
gosh.
you didn't have, none of your boys played hockey.
None of my boys played anything except video games.
Wow.
All right, that's just a statement. That is a fact.
Did you try? Were there attempts made? Was there interest expressed?
You're too athletic to not have them play sports.
Yeah.
We tried everything. When they were little, I thought, I have 4 sons. They're going to play all the sports. We're going to be out doing all the things. No, they could care less. Actually, the one who has some sort of sports talent, he is so anti-sports. His criteria for college was should be in a cold place and not be affiliated with the NCAA. Somehow he ended up at Alabama. I don't know why, but clearly like his thinking is...
Wait a minute.
He went over on his criteria there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't. But now he's like a sword guy. He does this historical sword fighting, which is actually quite... I know. It's like fencing, but with historical swords. Yes. People find their thing.
This is crazy.
Well, my uncle is a Revolutionary War reenactor.
It's kind of like that, but the point is the battle.
Sure.
I would have thought for your boys it would have been like lightsabers instead.
I can get behind that.
I mean, they probably nerded out on the Star Wars movies and things.
I still have lightsabers in the garage.
I'll bet you do.
Do they
big.
light up, or are they just the plastic ones that are colored?
They probably lit up at one point, but when you beat up your brother enough times with it, the light part doesn't work so good no more.
There are a couple of pretty significant bashes on mine.
Dents in the lightsabers back at the Olsen home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Lightsabers
totally see
were
that.
like the best toy ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've been asking today about fish fries and where people go for a good one. And, for the thing that prompted all of this was our Locals Love section of our daily newsletter that Ellie Bordeaux puts together. And it occurs to me I have not yet shared some of those answers there. So let me do that because Ellie went through all this work. There's the place called On the House in Sheboygan. Ooh. Beth writes in, my sister-in-law owns the bar and folks say it is the best fish fry in town. Nancy writes in on behalf of Fibbers Bar and Restaurant in St. Germain. Maybe set up by somebody from Illinois?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they like fibbers?
That's what I would think.
I would
Maybe
think.
that's where they want the fibs to go.
Yes. Nancy
You go
says,
here, and we're going to go there.
Yeah.
Yep. Says the perch and walleye are a spectacular choice of potatoes, fresh marbled rye bread. We have not mentioned the rye bread or the coleslaw.
Yeah.
Oh, and the coleslaw, the sweet kind, not the kind that's overly vinegary. You know,
Yes.
people have their own fashion. Their old fashions are a great accompaniment, says Nancy about fibbers in Saint Germain. Josh writes in on behalf of the Appleton Beer Factory. Says, if you ever make a stop to Appleton, this is the place to be for fish fry, seasoned well and reasonably priced. And then finally, Dawn.
Oh, wait. I want to put in a plug for the Appleton Beer Factory because it's not just the fish, it's everything. The food, the beer, it's right on College Avenue. Great spot.
Okay, there you go. And then one more here, the Elroy Eatery. Dawn writes in, the fillets are large and fried to perfection. Best of South Central Wisconsin winter, located downtown in a vintage building. So again, there's the Elroy Eatery for there. So speaking of best ofs, I haven't brought this up yet. Maybe next week I'll actually try to do some actual campaigning here. But Volume 1, the newspaper, the alternative weekly in the Chippewa Valley, is doing their annual Best of the Chippewa Valley. And this fine little radio show is in a couple of different categories. So if you go to volume1.org, you can make sure that I don't get skunked in those categories. I went on there just to vote for Judy Clark for a bunch of TV categories since she's going to be retiring here in a couple of weeks. And I saw, we're in there too.
Aww.
So volume1.org, if you want to throw a couple of votes in for Best of the Chippewa Valley.
Nice.
We will have some final news and notes from Lake Wissota. Well, Lake Wissota South here. Lake Mendota.
Lake Mendota or Monona.
Or is it that way and that way? I never know which way we're going on this isthmus here. Anyway, wrap things up from here in Madison. Right after this, you're still up north. All right.
I just want to point out that I started the show wearing a pink top and immediately went back to my room and changed into this.
You
so
did
that
change.
I could fit the
I was
theme.
like, I didn't say anything off the top here, and I'm like, wait, did she change?
I did not notice that.
Yep. Huh. You're the best.
I just wanted to be like Pat.
Oh yeah.
I need to get my flannels out.
It's like
I still haven't switched my closet.
It's not a little PK. It's something else. So
Yeah.
we'll go with PK fan.
PK fam.
Reminds me, I haven't promoted PK radio show here lately either.
Oh yeah. Get them on the new socials.
I'm so busy with question of the day now that I totally forgot about that.
I'm so hungry with question of the day.
There it is. Alicia is all about Houghton, Michigan, the birthplace of professional hockey. Tony asks, why didn't Kristen have a documentary about her campaign? Wasn't it South by Southwest? Or says,
Yeah.
wait, didn't Kristen have a documentary?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not out yet. I actually just heard from the documentary filmmaker earlier this week. It's been a challenging environment for creatives over the last year, but they are hoping sometime within the next few months that it will debut. It's not just like a little thing. It's a big thing. So I think there's a lot of groundwork that has to be laid.
You're saying you're high maintenance.
No. And it's not just about me and my campaign. It's really, when they first contacted me about it, they kind of posed it that way, like, we want to follow you. And I said, I don't want it to be about my campaign. I want it to be about why I'm doing this campaign, which is healthcare and women's healthcare. And so they've pulled in a bunch of other pieces. So it's going to be much more meaningful than let's just follow somebody on their campaign.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Let's see. Got one on the text line here.
Abe is offering 10 or 11?
10 would be wonderful.
Okay.
Does 10
Let's
work
make
for
it
you?
10. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Okay. All right, it's just about time to cruise out of here for the weekend. If you are cruising to deer camp, be safe. Bring home a big one. If you're heading to one of those non-hunting events that take place, enjoy a little you time this weekend. For those of you planning to clean the house like crazy this weekend because company's coming for Thanksgiving, don't forget to hit the pause button. You deserve that. The place is going to look great. Just remember to take that turkey out well in advance, okay? Kristen, we were asking, or somebody else asked on YouTube here, said, wait, wasn't there a documentary about Kristen's campaign? That is still pending, right?
Yeah, and it's not just about my campaign. It's when they initially approached me, that was what they suggested. But what I came back with was, let's make it about what my campaign is about, which is healthcare and women's healthcare and reproductive rights. So we pulled in a bunch of other folks, and it's going to be something bigger and better. I'm not sure when it's going to debut. They're telling me within the next couple of months, but keep your eye out, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it here.
I'll bet you talk about it on the Dr. Kristen Lyerly show, too.
I know
Saturdays at
we
noon.
will. Yeah. So good.
Look,
so
look,
good.
he remembered.
Yay.
There were a lot that came in on the text line here about our question of the day as well. So I wanted to get to some of those. I mentioned earlier, Jim in Brookfield talked about the Red Mill in Brookfield. Let's see. We have Robert in McFarland says the Maple Tree Supper Club. It rose from the ashes a little over a year ago. Still has a great supper club atmosphere and great food. Joe in Superior puts out the Lake Superior Whitefish at Hoops in Bayfield. I believe we've mentioned them already as well. Michael, nope, that was on a different topic here. Here's one from Lori in Hayward suggesting that folks might want to donate to a veterans center for homeless vets or perhaps a food shelf for Thanksgiving. If you are able to, maybe offer families coupons for Thanksgiving turkey. And may you all have a blessed Thanksgiving. Lori, thank you very much for that.
Lori.
Yeah. Sarah in Green Bay says, my neighborhood Red Owl grocery store has an excellent Friday perch fry. I didn't know Red Owls were still around.
Oh, I know where you live, Sarah. She lives over at Lambeau. That's where.
I know where you live, Sarah. There's still
Can
a
I
Red
park
Owl.
in your driveway?
Can I get a discount?
What, yeah, how much are you charging? We just want to know. We'll bring you something from Red Owl in return.
That's
Maybe
awesome.
some perch. Yeah. Jim in Brookfield on the text line just wants to say good Friday morning, Dr. Lyerly. Just a knee replacement update. Yesterday, I rode my bike for the first time post-surgery 5 miles outside instead of the stationary, and it went great.
Oh, good. It's going to be a great weekend for bike riding too, Jim. Congratulations.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Did you finish all the yard work and everything here?
Do you ever finish the yard work?
Do you ever finish it enough that you can just take it easy? No?
No.
Oh, okay.
I still got lawn furniture outside because we've got a fire pit out there, and the kids like the fire pit in the winter.
Yeah. Okay. No, fire pit's great. I haven't used mine nearly enough this year. I'd really like to do that. So I was looking at the list of guests from this week, and I want to review that with you. Look at these wonderful people. We had State Senator Jody Habush-Sinekin telling us all about the effort to save a big land conservation program, one that's facing tough odds against the corporate crowd running things in that part of the Capitol these days. We had Sandy Pope, a former legislator, and Julie Underwood, former dean of the UW School of Education, reminding us that there is a blueprint out there to fix how we pay for schools in this state. Just still too many politicians rooting for our schools to fail. So, Julie, Sandy, thank you very much. Don't give up the fight on that. Let's see. We talked to Cam Stevenson from Courier Newsroom, who basically single-handedly built a searchable database that tracks some 20,000 items of the Epstein files that have already been released.
That's
And
very interesting.
You can search it for various keywords, like Donald Trump. And you can search that by heading over to couriernewsroom.com and learning more. So let's see. We got another couple of comments coming in on fish fries from PJ. Another good place for fish fry in the Fox Valley is a bar called ICU in Neenah. I see you. Get it? Let's see.
I could use that. I have to go to work at the ICU right now.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah, I like that. That works out.
I have to wordsmith it a little bit, but it could work for me.
It's okay. It works. It's like places that call themselves the library or, nobody's home or whatever. Rob says in Shawano County, west of Shawano, there used to be a Happy Corners Supper Club along Highway 29 back when it was 2 lanes. So another place that got lost due to highway expansion. But, we asked people to give us some ideas for supper clubs that are no longer with us anymore that we missed. You mentioned the Avenue in Madison and how nice that was.
I know.
Let's see. We also get to thank Dan Schaefer from the Recombobulation area for joining us this week. There's, of course, my Up North News teammates, Sharita Booker, Selena Heller, and Ellie Bordeaux. And I highly recommend Selena Heller's story this week, where she basically followed a farmer around in his combine as he harvested soybeans, talking all about the double whammy that farmers are getting from the trade war. And now their health insurance costs are being jacked up.
And she's literally in the combine riding with him as he's talking. It made me think of when I was a little kid and I was riding with my grandpa and he would just be talking. It's personal and it's intimate and it's important.
Yes. And you have to understand, Selena is small that way. She just fits right in the little corner there and can get things done. We heard from Sheila Everhart from the Wisconsin Agricultural Tourism Association, Hans Breitenmoser, Sean O'Malley, some great insight on your money and the markets. Of course, Joe Zepecki and Melissa Baldoff, Mark Jacob, Jim Santelle, Kia Vakil. We had the Civic Media Cavalcade of Stars this week. Jane Matnair, Earl Ingram, Chad Holmes, Jimmy Kuska, James Kelly, John and Gordy, Greg Bach, my fish fry buddy, Jim Zons, and the proudly peripatetic, enduringly effervescent Dr. Kristen Lyerly, a one-woman ICU for your funny bone. Producers Parker Olson and Frank Gargano are still here. I'm not sure why. God love them. And thank you for being here today. I don't know why you guys stick around.
No clue.
Kristen
I want to
does.
be your fish fry buddy.
All right. It's done. We'll make that happen.
All
Have
right.
a great weekend, Kristen.
You
Thanks
too,
for
my
sticking
friend.
around. All right. Thank you, Parker. Have a great weekend. It is time for me to hit the road, get a good start on the weekend. I'm Pat Kreitlow from Up North News, part of Courier Newsroom, a pro-democracy news network. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday bright and early, 6 a.m. back up north.
Nice.
And
Da 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 da.
Ba-da-ba-ba.